Tonight's meeting of the Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County Council is coming to you live from the Davidson Room at the Music City Center and is a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Nolan, your announcer for this program. Tonight, the 15th Metropolitan Council holds its 29th business meeting of a four-year term. It has conducted 22 business meetings featuring during 2020 prior to tonight, along with one adjourned meeting. For the fifth time since April 6th, the Council will conduct its business in person after 15 meetings held virtually this year due to the pandemic. All 40 members of the Council, along with Vice Mayor Jim Schulman, are expected to be here, along with staff and members of the public. Once again, tonight's meeting is being held in the Davidson Room at the Music City Center, where the Council will hold its meetings at least through the end of this year. The location is large enough to accommodate a crowd of 500 or more persons and still maintain the social distancing required by city health orders. Those orders also include everyone wearing face masks since we are in a metro building. By the way, since we are an approved event under the city's new health rules, we do have a curfew to end tonight's council meeting no later than 11 o'clock. The council's agenda tonight is 38 pages long with a total of 111 items up for consideration. There are also 3 appointments or reappointments of local citizens to metro boards and commissions and 23 bills on public hearing, primarily rezoning matters. One of those bills is, sometimes we don't know exactly what's going to be controversial in the zoning, but one of them involving Nashville businessman Bill Freeman and a piece of property his own is expected to be controversial in the debate tonight. There are also 20 resolutions on the agenda, 30 first reading bills, 25 bills on second reading, and 13 ordinances on third and final reading. Among the new items tonight, the Council will be asked to endorse the new transportation plan being put forward by the Cooper administration. It is not as expensive or expansive as the plan proposed by Mayor Megan Berry and rejected by the voters in 2017. It will be deferred tonight. We understand there were some questions about it in committee. Don't know if it's opposition or just a time for more study. It does not spend any money. In terms of city financing, on second reading, the Council will consider BL 2020-534 to place a percentage cap on budgeted revenues devoted to debt service. That also will be deferred tonight for extra study. Under RS 2020-659, the Council will approve spending a little over $18 million from the city's 4% reserve fund for routine equipment purchases and building repairs. That includes funds for the Sheriff's Department for furniture and fixtures, computer-related purchases, books for the library system, and vehicle purchases for Metro. For much of the remaining agenda, much like the recent Thanksgiving holiday, a lot of the items up for consideration are leftovers, bills that were deferred from earlier meetings. That includes a public hearing, BL 2020-491. Bill would annex about 1,600 parcels in the Dickerson Road, Brick Church, Pike area in Councilmember Gamble's district into the Urban Services District. That will mean higher property taxes for that area, but not until the next fiscal year. The property owners also seeing improved police and fire protection along with trash collection and street lights. Again, tonight, legislation related to the coronavirus pandemic will be a major focus. Resolution 2020-663 accepts 50,000 N95 disposable respirators from the Celanese Corporation for use by the Metro Office of Emergency Management to help fight the COVID-19 pandemic. 2 other bills, RS 2020-613 and the second reading bill, 2020-505, relate to the ongoing operation of the Metro Bordeaux Hospital facility or long-term facility. The resolution would approve $5 million in the Metro CARES Act money and $1.5 million from the city's reserve funds for continued operation and repairs and equipment for Bordeaux. The ordinance would direct the Metro Purchasing Agency also to negotiate an emergency contract for the operation of the Bordeaux facility after January 1st of 2021. Metro has decided to close this long-standing safety net healthcare facility after ending a contract with its outside current provider and not finding any new firms willing to come in to take it over. Metro is continuing to. The CARES money request, however, has not been recommended by the CARES Act committee of the council, which so far has been required by the council to receive any money from that particular fund. There's also both another resolution and an ordinance before the council to delay or require council approval before shutting down the Bordeaux facility. It should be noted that some members of the council say the previous council in concept approved the idea of Metro getting out of the long-term care business. Council will also debate again tonight whether to allow Metro schools to continue to spend $5 million in CARES Act money for laptops and other related expenses for virtual learning. Because the schools receive state money, council members want that $5 million returned for other agencies or groups to spend on virus relief. The new resolution before the council tonight, 2020-658, would allow the schools' money to continue to be spent until the end of this year, the remaining money to come back to Metro then. All CARES Act funds must be appropriated and spent according to the federal government by the end of this year. Metro still has almost $29 million of the city's total $121 million in CARES Act allocation unappropriated. Some council members have been expressing concern about that deadline with just 2 council meetings remaining, including tonight. Resolution up tonight, RS 2020-658, would appropriate all the remaining funds and place them in a special account to cover future COVID-19 needs in 2021. Another action on second reading tonight, Bill BL 2024-94 would allow law enforcement to use license plate scanners for the purpose of enforcing state and local laws pertaining to reckless driving, especially for the prosecution of people engaged in illegal drag racing activities and in mass gatherings within the right-of-way or when intersections are unlawfully shut down to accommodate drag racing. Metro Police are currently conducting a crackdown on such activities. Other surrounding cities such as Belle Meade and Mount Juliet are using these scanners, but there are privacies and other concerns being raised as they were when the bill was deferred 2 nights ago. In the area of law enforcement, I would tell you tonight that Mayor John Cooper is with us tonight. He will be bringing in John Drake, the soon-to-be new Metro Police Chief. Both the mayor and the new chief will be speaking to the council briefly at the very beginning of this meeting. On second reading tonight, the legislation that requires landlords to provide notice to tenants prior to determination of their tenancy or a non-renewal of their lease. It's RS 2020-456 is before the council yet again, as it has been in one form or another since before the pandemic began back in March. Finally, under Bill 2020-506 on third and final reading, the Cheekwood Botanical Gardens and Museum of Art will provide free of charge to taxpayers the care and maintenance of the garden area in the Riverfront Park downtown. If you want to follow tonight's council meeting as it progresses, you can find the agenda online. Just go to the Metro Council portion of the metro.gov website and then to the Legislative Information Center. We'll also be placing the numbers of the bills on the screen when they come up for consideration so you can follow along and keep up with what we are doing as far as the meeting agenda. Let's go now to Vice Mayor Jim Shulman, who will be gaveling tonight's council meeting to order shortly.
You ready? You guys ready? Hey, Sean. Will the meeting please come to order? We welcome you to the Metro Council. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Invocation this evening will be offered by Reverend Chris Jackson of the Pleasant Green Missionary Baptist Church, a guest of Councilmember Freddie O'Connell.
Let us pray. Oh God, we come to you on this occasion of the last in-person meeting of the council for the year 2020. And oh God, as we look back on this year, we can say that through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. But it was your grace that's brought us safe thus far, and it will be your grace that will lead us on. We are survivors. We're survivors of tornadoes, pandemics, injustices, but it's been by your grace, and it will be by your grace that we will survive in 2021. Amen.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, y'all may be seated. So without objection, we will suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of those members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for adoption of the minutes of the meeting from November 17th, 2020? I got a motion properly seconded. Without objection, the minutes of the meeting will stand approved as written. Madam Clerk? Hold on. Madam Clerk, any messages from the mayor?
No, Vice Mayor, there are no messages from the mayor.
All right. All right. Councilmember Cash, you are recognized. You can go, I guess, to go to number 8. All right. Councilmember Cash?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And I want to acknowledge that the Vice Mayor, in his wisdom, this week invited Vanderbilt senior Sarah Fuller to come and gavel in the meeting. However, since Ms. Fuller is going to likely kick in future games this season, she was unable to attend this meeting, due to following the team COVID protocols. But I did want to take a minute to acknowledge her accomplishment this past weekend, not only for being the first woman to kick in a Power 5 football game and for being the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week, but also for her athletic ability and leadership on Vanderbilt's soccer team. And Vice Mayor Schulman assures me that in the future, when she can come and be here to receive our appreciation for her accomplishments, that he will invite her in the near future. Thank you.
I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that probably deserves a standing ovation since it was history. So. Very amazing, and congratulations to Ms. Fuller. Very proud of her. So even though the clerk said that there were no messages from the mayor, I believe the mayor is here and does have a message for us. So members of the Metro Council, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Honorable John Cooper, Mayor of Nashville and Davidson County, and he has brought with him a special guest. Mr. Mayor, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And thank you all. Good evening. It is great to see everybody. And I know this is the council's last in-person meeting for the year, so I wanted to come to you in person and share two important updates. First, Nashville's new police chief, Chief John Drake, is here tonight. And now because of COVID, we were not able to bring in the friends and supporters we normally would to either tonight or to yesterday's announcement. But I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here tonight with you and the chief. Now, people from across Nashville reached out to us and participated in an online survey to identify what they wanted in their police chief. And they told us. They want their police chief and their police officers to be their partners. And they want a department that reflects the diversity and the values of all of our communities. And they want our officers to always serve our community and each other with dignity and respect all of the time. Now, Chief Drake is the person to achieve all that. He's a leader with a great heart. He's going to be a great partner for our community, and he is a relationship builder. Now, he starts today on day one to make us a greater city. He knows what to do, and very importantly, he has the community support behind him to do it. Now, Vice Mayor Schulman, with your permission, I want Chief Drake to say a few words. But I also want to briefly talk about the transportation plan that's before the council for your review and consideration over the next 2 weeks. The work you do to consider this plan is the work of building a future Nashville. With your work, we can have a better Nashville, but we first have to have a plan. And we need a plan to get the federal and state resources that can be available to us if we do. And this plan is that roadmap. It's a Nashville neighborhoods strategy, and there are 1,961 transportation and traffic improvements that go to all of our neighborhoods that are in this plan. And with a plan, we have the ability to get up to 60% of funds from federal and state partners. Now, the Biden administration has already signaled that they'll award even more funding for plans that prioritize affordable housing and equity, and this plan has those priorities. And it can be funded, I feel, from our operating and capital budgets. So this is the blueprint that we need for a successful future. And now, members of the council, will you please join me in congratulating and welcoming Nashville's next Chief of Police, Chief John Drake.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Drake,
right.
You are recognized.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor Cooper, for introducing me, Vice Mayor Schulman, and the council. Truly appreciate it. It's an honor to serve with you. Just a little bit about me. I'm a native of Nashville. I grew up in East Nashville, went to the public school system, graduated from East High School, a three-sport letterman. Joined the police department in 1988 to make a difference. Wanted to connect with people and help people and do great things. And so 32 years later, I was named interim chief and had been approached by several police departments around the country about leaving. And just wanted you to know that this is the only place that I wanted to be. It's the only community that I wanted to serve. In fact, during the selection process, I had a city call me and maybe a pretty good offer, and this is where I want to be. And our police department we're changing from the proactive, over-policing, hotspot things we used to do to community engagement. We want to meet our neighbors. We want people to know who we are, and we want to make a safe Nashville through engagement. Before I close, we have a new Chief Diversity Officer, which is new for our police department. The Chief Diversity Officer is going to connect with the COB, which I've established a good relationship with. I was informed today by Director Fitcher that she signed the MOU that we've reviewed. It's going to their executive committee, and once they sign, I'll sign, and we'll have an MOU finally, and we did that very expeditiously. And another thing, we have an Office of Community Engagement and Partnership. And so we centralize Hispanics, African Americans, Caucasians, Kurdish, all in an effort to reach communities throughout Nashville. So anything that you need for your districts, we're here to serve you and help you with anything you need. So I appreciate you having me on. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Chief Drake. All right, two things before we move on. So let me make sure that you understand that we will be meeting virtually at our next meeting. Some of us will be based in the Metro Council chamber. If for any reason you need to be in a physical location, but the rest of you can participate from home virtually, and we will be sending further instructions. They will be coming. As for tonight, because of new city requirements, we were approved to have only 75 attendees in this event tonight, which includes us. So only 75 visitors or guests can be here. So you notice that we have fewer seats in the back. If more than that come, we have a solution to deal with it out front where people can sit and wait their turn to come in. Those new requirements also require that we be finished and off these premises by 11 p.m. tonight. So we have a curfew, okay? We have got to be finished by 11 o'clock. If we are not finished at that time, we will have to make a decision as to adjourn to a date certain, or I assume every measure that does not get act will be placed on the next regular calendar, okay? Any questions about that? All right, remember, wear your mask tonight, exercise proper social distancing during the meeting, and once again, we are so appreciative of the different groups of people that have made this meeting possible tonight. And for the last several meetings, they have been wonderful and worked very, very hard to make sure this happens. So thank you. And one last thing that I was asked to mention. Former Councilmember Edith Taylor Langster is in the hospital tonight. I understand that she watches us. We wish her well. Councilmember Brandon Taylor wanted me to make sure that we mentioned her. So Councilmember Edith Taylor Langster, we hope you get better very, very soon. And anyway, stay well and get out of that hospital very soon. All right, we are now ready to proceed to elections and confirmations. So I'm going to turn to Councilmember Johnston and see if there's a report from the Rules Committee. Councilmember Johnston, you're
Oh,
recognized.
I'm sorry, yes.
That's okay.
I'm lost. Okay. We had one appointment for the Community Education Commission. It was the appointment of Ms. Monica Reyna for a term expiring October 6, 2021. We voted 6 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, so you want to move her
I'd like to move
confirmation?
her, yes, I'd like to move her approval, please.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the confirmation of Ms. Monica Reyna for the Community Education Commission. We've got a motion properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, next, Councilmember Johnston.
We addressed another appointment for Ms. Michelle Robertson. If that appointment is being deferred for one meeting for the Hospital Authority.
Okay,
And I don't think there's any action needed on that.
all right, so that's just deferred until the next meeting. All right,
Yes. The reappointment of Mr. Dodd Galbraith for a Stormwater Management Committee for a term expiring October 31st, 2024. We voted 6 in favor, 0 against, and I'd move his approval.
okay, so you've heard the motion properly seconded. Any discussion on the reappointment of Mr. Dodd Galbraith? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the appointment say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes, so we've approved the reappointment of Mr. Dodd Galbraith for the Stormwater Management Committee. I believe, Councilmember Johnston, that was it, correct? Okay. So let me make sure we've got this right. I've got Ms. Monica Reyna for the Community Education Commission. Ms. Reyna, are you here? If you would, please stand up. I can't see anymore. Is she back there? Oh, they came virtually. Okay, so I guess, Ms. Reyna, if you're watching this, please stand up at home, okay? And Mr. Dodd Galbraith, if you're watching, please stand up at home and let us recognize you for your efforts, okay? So on behalf of the entire Metro Council, we thank you for your willingness to serve and volunteer your time and expertise to help Nashville and Davidson County. All right. All right, so now we move on to bills on public hearing. So we have a situation tonight where you could either attend in person or you can call in. So let me kind of go back over, we haven't done this in a while, how this works. So if members of the public are interested in speaking either for or against any item on the public hearing agenda, this is how you will do it if you are not here. If you're here, obviously you can speak at the podium in the back. If you're not here, you should be watching us on Channel 3 or watching us through live streaming. The number to call in will be at the bottom of the screen. So what I will do is I will call the bill number and I will immediately go to the sponsor to see if she or he plans to have a public hearing on the bill tonight. Okay? So I'll call the bill number and go to the sponsor and just ask them whether they are going to have a public hearing tonight. If yes, I will announce the item is ready for a live call-in. When I announce the item, please make the call on the phone number that's at the bottom of your screen. I will read the caption of the bill actually twice, which will allow you time to call in. The number to call is 629-255-1931. Please wait for operator assistance. You will be asked by the operator if you are calling for the current matter on public hearing. Please mute your television or live stream when it's your turn to speak because there's a delay in terms of here and the broadcast itself. Once we recognize you to start, state your name, address, and whether you are for or against the bill, and then you will have 2 minutes in which to speak. If you go over the 2 minutes, I will indicate to you that your 2 minutes are up. Let me repeat that just real quickly again. If you're watching us tonight and you want to speak during the public hearing, then here's what you do. You should be watching us on Channel 3 or watching it by live streaming. The number to call in will be at the bottom of the screen. I will call the bill number up and immediately go to the sponsor, see if she or he plans to have a public hearing tonight. They can always defer. If they do want to have a public hearing, I will announce that the item is ready for a live call-in. When I announce the item, please make the call. I will read the caption of the bill twice, which allows you time to call in. Number is 629-255-1931. 629-255-1931. An operator will help you. They will ask if you're calling about the current matter. Please mute your television or live stream when it's your turn to speak. Once it's your turn, state your name, address, and whether you're for or against the bill. You'll have 2 minutes in which to speak. And if you go over the 2 minutes, I will indicate to you that your time is up. Okay? Any questions from council members before we start? All right, seeing none, we are ready to move to bills on public hearing tonight. Okay, so I'm going to call it the bills one at a time, refer to the sponsor. Unless the sponsor moves to defer the public hearing, the sponsor will call for a public hearing. Again, if we're going to have a public hearing, if you want to speak on that bill, when you hear that bill number, go ahead and call in at that time, okay? And then at that point, we will open up the public hearing and hear from people both in the audience and from callers. All right, so the first bill up tonight is BL 2020-479 by Councilmembers O'Connell and Murphy. I'm going to go to Councilmember O'Connell. Councilmember O'Connell, are you going to have a public hearing on this bill tonight?
Thank you, Mr. President. No, I'm not. I need to defer this public hearing to the first meeting in February to track with some with a deferral at the Planning Commission.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, there is no public hearing on this bill tonight, so let me read the bill and the caption, and then we'll go to Councilmember O'Connell for a proper motion. It's Bill 2479. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from MUN, MUNA, MULA, MUG, OR20CS, and CF to MUNNS, MUNANS, MULANS, MUGNS, OR20NS, CSNS, and CFNS zoning for various properties located between Rosedale Parks Boulevard and 2nd Avenue North, from Hume Street south to Jefferson Street, and located within the Germantown Historic Preservation District overlay. Councilmember O'Connell, you are recognized on that bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move to defer to the first meeting in February.
All right, so the motion is to defer to the first meeting in February, properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion to defer? Seeing none, we're on the motion to defer to the first meeting in February. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is adopted. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. Next bill up is BL 2020-487, and if there's no objection from the council, there's a companion bill. It's BL 2020-502. We're going to take them back to back. We're just going to take the bill which is on the agenda, number 4, and move it to the third slot, so they'll be back to back. They will not be taken together. All right, so BL 2020-487 by Councilmember Hauser and BL 2020-502 by Councilmember Hauser. Do you wish to have a public hearing on those bills tonight?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if you are interested in those bills, either one, we're going to take the first one first, BL 2020-487, but the next one is coming behind it. Go ahead and make the call in right now. All right? So this is the second one on the agenda. It's BL 2020-487 by Councilmember Hauser. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from R15 to SP zoning for property located at 7335 Old Charlotte Pike. It's approximately 800 feet east of Old Hickory Boulevard. It's 2.21 acres, permitting 28 multifamily residential units. Again, this is BL 2020-487 by Councilmember Hauser. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from R15 to SP zoning for property located at 7335 Old Charlotte Pike. It's approximately 800 feet east of Old Hickory Boulevard. It's 2.21 acres, permitting 28 multifamily residential units. Councilmember Hauser, you are recognized.
Thank you. This bill is phase 2 of a project that is on Old Hickory Boulevard and Old Charlotte Pike. It is duplicating exactly the type of homes that are in phase 1, just a smaller number. Phase 1 was 48 units and phase 2 is 28 units. And the developer is going to be adding left and right turn lanes on Old Hickory Boulevard, which is very much needed when this project is completed. Planning has approved, and I've had no objections at either of the public hearings that we had before.
All right, so you ready to open up the public hearing?
I am, sir.
All right, so I declare the public hearing open on this matter. Again, we're on BL 2020-487. It's item number 2. The public hearing is open. Is there anybody in the audience in the back who wishes to be heard on this matter? Okay, I see nobody in the back, so then we'll go to the phone lines. Ms. Godin, are you there?
Yes, Vice Mayor, you have callers in the queue.
We do have callers in the queue. Go ahead and let them in. Do we have a caller on the line? Do we have a caller on the line? Oh, I think we do. All right, so you're the first caller. This is Vice Mayor Jim Schulman. We are on BL 2020-487. If you would, please introduce yourself, give us your address, whether you're for or against the bill, and then you have 2 minutes in which to speak, and I'll stop you after the 2 minutes. Okay, go ahead.
My name is Victor Bashara. My address is 3000 Coastal Avenue, Unit 4, Nashville, Tennessee, 37203. I'm the developer of the property in subject. I have basically been working on this for the last two and a half, 3 years when Sherry Greener was back in council. We had our community meeting. We went through the planning commission. We did everything that obviously that Metro wanted as far as traffic studies, working with TDOT. I still have to widen Old Hickory Boulevard to do a decel lane, and we've done phase 1 and 2. We've been working on phase 3. We work with Harpers Valley Utility District. I've extended the sewer and the water under Old Hickory Boulevard, which probably exceeded over $500,000 in extending the sewer and water for this development. I've basically done everything that the planning commission has asked. I've done everything that City of the Metro Council has asked. And we have, I've basically put everything in place. All the homeowners that moved into phase 1 and 2 were fully aware of what has been going on for phase 3. And I've been working with, obviously, Councilwoman Gloria Hauser in getting this done. And I feel like, obviously I support this project. And I feel like this is something that is well in need for Bellevue in that area. And that's basically all I have to say.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling. All right, Ms. Godin, next caller. All right. You're the next caller. If I could have your name, address, and whether you're for or against the bill, and then you'll have 2 minutes in which to speak.
Sure. My name is Daphne Bugelli. My address is 730 Old Hickory Boulevard, Unit 130, and I am against the bill.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say?
Yes, I would like to speak for 2 minutes if my time begins now, please.
You have about 1.5 minutes in which to speak.
Very well, thank you. Good evening. I have submitted to the council letters from homeowners of this community. We have submitted 24 letters. They are identical and they are signed by different unit owners of the community, which currently is comprised of 48 units. 4 of those are unoccupied because they are still under construction. So of the 44 units currently occupied, we have letters from 24 homeowners who all oppose this bill. The reasons for our opposition are stated in the letter, but to resume them quickly, we purchased in this community not being told that it was going to grow from a 48-unit community to a 76-unit community. That was a surprise to all of us, which we recently learned of when we were notified about this hearing. I realize this is a third reading of the bill. However, many of us closed on our townhomes in late April, meaning April 30th, 2020, or in my case, as late as July 2020. We were not given notice of any previous hearings. This is the first one we were made aware of. Therefore, we are voicing our opinions now. The main issues we face will be a traffic impact. There is only one residential entrance to this community, and by adding over 50% of occupancy in the community, we will be impacting that resident's access to the driveway quite severely. Our main concern is the driveway access. We believe that there should be a driveway created on Old Charlotte Pike to create a better traffic flow for the community, since it will be so much larger with the addition of these 28 units. We're also concerned about the ongoing construction in our community, which we were not aware was going to continue past late 2020. Now it looks like we're going to be dealing with construction noise for another year to 2 years, especially when most of us are working from home during the pandemic. So that's clearly a burden on all of us.
All right.
And finally,
Ma'am, that's your 2 minutes ended just a second ago. Okay.
that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling. All right, Ms. Godin, next caller. All right, you're the next caller. I need your name, address, whether you're for or against the bill, and then can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, need name, address, whether you're for or against the bill, and then you'll have 2 minutes in which to speak.
My name is Ashley Smith. I live at 526 Harpeth Park Drive, and I am for the bill.
All right, go ahead.
Great, thank you so much. I'm actually the broker who sold 40 or so of the 48 units that Phase 1 and 2 are comprised of at 730 Boulevard West. It was actually brought to my attention earlier today that some existing residents acted as though they had no idea about a potential Phase 3, which is simply not true, and most definitely not intentional, which is one of the main reasons for my call. There has always been talks of a Phase 3, and anyone who has asked about, the potential for future development, that was definitely disclosed to them. I did reach out to a few of the residents today. I know the previous caller said that there were 24 signatures on a letter that was identical. Some of them informed me that they didn't really know what they were signing and kind of felt as though some people could have, just signed it because they didn't want issues with their neighbors, which is understandable. One of those people who appears to be spearleading the opposition was definitely aware of a Phase 3 because they've reached out to me numerous times, as recent as October actually, because a family member desperately wanted to purchase a unit. Lastly, all of the commercial vehicles that have been using the construction interest off Old Hickory Boulevard for the completion of Phase 2 will continue to do that. Phase 2 was done in blocks as it's comprised of multiple buildings, and that last fourplex is projected for close dates in February of 2021. So while the rest of the residents in Phase 2 started moving as early as May and late as July, we've had zero complaints about noise or any commercial vehicles. We were in a very tight ship, keep everything super tidy. And another thing is parking is assigned in the community. So no resident has to come home and wonder where they're going to park because every unit is 2 assigned parking spaces. And that's it. Thank you so much for hearing me speak.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Ms. Godin, next caller.
Thank you.
All right. You're our next caller. I need your name, address, whether you're for or against the bill, and then you've got 2 minutes in which to speak.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Schulman. This is Adam Sager at Dale & Associates, 516 Heather Place. I am speaking in favor. This project started in early 2019 as a second phase of an existing development, 730 OHB. We held a community meeting in the spring of 2019, way back when we could do it in person. About 5 or 6 neighbors showed up after presenting. All were in favor of the project at that time. The project that then was put on hold by the owner for about a year. We picked it back up again in the spring of 2020. We worked closely with Councilmember Hauser and set up a Zoom meeting to present the project to the community. Invitations were sent out to over 150 neighbors in the surrounding area. The Zoom meeting was held on June 22nd, 2020, and nobody showed up to the Zoom meeting. Because of zero opposition and little participation at that point, we then took the project on to Planning Commission, which also has a public hearing where notices are sent out to all the community. One gentleman did call in opposition, but he lived about a mile away from this property. The Planning Commission passed the project unanimously. We also met out on site with Councilmember Hauser in mid-September to walk the site. I understand there was a letter very recently submitted. I believe it was the same letter, just copied, and several different folks sent it in. If I had more time, I could explain and address all the items in the letter. I did read it. One item I will address that was in the letter is the access to Old Charlotte Pike. This access was studied and reviewed by Metro Planning, Public Works, Fire Marshal, and a detailed traffic study was performed. All deemed this access to have poor sight distance, and other neighbors in the area requested that this not be a vehicular access. So it is specifically proposed to be an emergency-only access. There is access there, it's for emergency only. Again, I'd like to reiterate, we've engaged the community multiple times. This is now the second public hearing, and it's obtained a unanimous approval at Planning Commission. And I appreciate all your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Godin, next caller. Do we have
your caller, Vice Mayor?
There we go. All right. So I need your name, address, whether you're for or against the bill, and then you'll have 2 minutes in which to speak.
Yes, sir. My name is Sarah Rahimi, and I live in 730 Boulevard West, Unit 126. I am actually for the bill. I currently live in Phase 2 since June, while the other buildings in Phase 2 were under construction. It hasn't caused any nuisance or created any issues. Also, the commercial construction vehicles are already using the construction entrance off Old Charlotte Pike, and that entrance will make it easier for any fire trucks or ambulances to get to Phase 2 in case of an unfortunate incident or a fire. Lastly, this also will do nothing but increase our property value. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Godin, next caller.
You have your caller, Vice Mayor.
All right. I need your name, address, whether you're for or against the bill, and then you'll have 2 minutes in which to speak.
Perfect. Thank you very much. My name is Felipe Velastegui. I reside in 730 Old Hickory Boulevard, apartment 127. I am opposing this bill based on the fact that the current community is not ADA compliant. We do not have assigned ADA spaces, and much of the homeowners here feel that it would be unfair if we had to bring up the community up to ADA standards once we took possession of HOA. The easement, which is part of the bill number 4 on the agenda, also prevents homeowners from leaving if there was a fire or an emergency, because the turning radius for the fire engine is extremely tight. There was some mention before about compliance with Metro codes. I have logged a complaint in Metro Hub because there was work on Sunday, and not but 2 weeks ago there was an electrical fire in one of the units, and there were 8 fire engines ready to act and only one was actually able to enter the community based on space and turning radiuses. This is why I'm opposing to the bill. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Godin, next caller.
There are no more callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay. Anybody else in the back that wanted to speak on this measure? All right, seeing none, declare the public hearing closed. I'm going to go back to Councilmember Hauser. You're recognized. Oh, I'm sorry, you're at 6.
Let me ask a question.
Sure.
Do I ask for a vote on this one before we go to the next one?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I'd ask for a vote then, please.
All right, so your motion would be to approve BL 2020-487 on second reading?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's the motion, properly seconded. Any discussion from anyone? Councilmember Hauser?
No, I have met with the developers, I've walked the land, I've seen where their crash gate will be for emergency access. I know one of the gentlemen spoke to the fact that they had an issue currently. That's because that access is not now open. When Phase 2 is completed, there will be access from Old Charlotte Pike only for emergency vehicles, and so they will be able to enter the whole complex easier than they can now.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hauser. I do have a note from the clerk that one of the callers submitted documents for our record, and they have been submitted to the clerk's office. All right, so just want to make sure that was confirmed.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else wishing to speak on this matter? There's a motion before us to pass 2020-487 on second reading. Seeing nobody else in the queue, all those in favor of the motion to pass on second reading say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Hauser. So again, without objection, we're going to go on to item number 4, which is BL 2020-502 by Councilmember Hauser. Again, we're going to have a public hearing on this one tonight. We've already asked. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by amending the existing SP zoning for property located at 730 Old Hickory Boulevard, approximately 437 feet south of Old Charlotte Pike. It's 4.07 acres, to permit up to 48 multifamily residential units and add an access and public utility easement, which is described in the entire bill. Again, this is 2020-502 by Councilmember Hauser. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by amending the existing SP zoning for property located at 730 Old Hickory Boulevard, approximately 437 feet south of Old Charlotte Pike. It's 4.07 acres to permit up to 48 multifamily residential units and add an access and public utility easement. Councilmember Hauser, I'm going to come to you for a motion to open the public hearing.
I'd like to have a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay, so I declare the public hearing open. Is there anybody in the back that wishes to be heard on this matter? All right, seeing nobody in the back, Ms. Godin, do we have anybody on the phone lines?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to read the caption one more time. This is BL 2020-502, ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by amending the existing SP zoning for property located at 730 Old Hickory Boulevard. It's approximately 437 feet south of Old Charlotte Pike, 4.07 acres to permit up to 48 multifamily residential units and add an access and public utility easement. All right, Ms. Godin, anybody on the call? Anybody get on the call?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right, thank you. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Hauser, you're recognized.
Yes, I'd like to make a point of clarity that might be confusing to others. This is not for an additional 48 units. This is the existing 48 units. The only thing this ordinance does is give the access road rights from Phase 1 to Phase 2. This was originally approved through second reading last year with council, but was put on pause because the owner of the property that Phase 2 is to be built on was ill, so they couldn't close on the property. And the developer of Phase 1 did not want to give access to property he did not at that time own. Now he owns both pieces and is ready to complete the project. And so he is also ready to give access through Phase 1 to Phase 2. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hauser. I'll need a motion to approve this one on second reading.
I ask for a motion to approve this one on second reading,
All right,
please.
that's the motion, properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Remember, we're on second reading. Seeing nobody in the queue, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of Bill 2025-02 on second reading say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, thank you, Councilmember Hauser.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to go back to item number 3, BL 2020-491. This is on page 3 of your agenda. It's item number 3, 2020-491 by Councilmember Gamble. Councilmember Gamble, do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, I do, Vice Mayor.
All right, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and make your phone call now. This is BL 2020-491. It's item number 3. It's an ordinance extending the boundaries of the Urban Services District within the jurisdiction of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to include certain properties located in Council District 3 and approving the plan of service, all described in the bill. Again, this is BL 2020-491 by Councilmember Gamble. It's an ordinance extending the boundaries of the Urban Services District within the jurisdiction of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to include certain properties located in Council District 3 and approving the plan of services. All right, so Councilmember Gamble, I'm coming to you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This bill has been a year in the making. It's one of the first things I started working on after being elected last year. I had 3 in-person community meetings to discuss this project before the pandemic and the shutdown. They were well-attended meetings. We had the property assessor's office as well as Public Works there to discuss with the residents what it means to annex into the Urban Service District, how it will impact their property tax as well as the services that will be provided in the community. There's been a lot of support for this project, particularly because we believe it'll address the trash problem that we have in the area. There are a lot of rental properties in the area, and for whatever reason, people are not paying for private vendors to pick up trash. They're dumping it on the side of the road, and so we feel that this urban service annexation will help address that issue. Also, there are many elderly people who live in the area who don't feel safe because it's dark at night, and this will provide street lights that would enhance the quality of life as it relates to trash, adding recycling, and the safety with street lights. Since this shutdown, I've also had additional virtual meetings to keep residents updated on the status of the USD annexation, also communicated through newsletters as well. And at this point, I just ask for support today, and we'll open up the public hearing.
All right, I declare the public hearing open. Anybody here in the back wish to speak on this particular measure? All right, I see you. If you would like, come on up to the podium. It's right back over here. Anybody wishing to speak in here, if you'd go ahead and line up. Okay? And then what I need is, I need your name, address, for or against the bill, and you got 2 minutes in which to speak.
My name is Teresa Burse, and I live at 2536 Solomon Lane, and I am for the bill. As Councilmember Gamble mentioned, we've brought these concerns to her multiple times in her community meetings with us. And we are very appreciative of how hard she has worked to put this bill before you. And so I, on behalf of myself and the other neighbors in my community, ask for your approval and support. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else in the audience wishing to speak on this particular bill? All right, seeing nobody in the audience, Ms. Godin, do we have people on the phone?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right, so I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Gamble, you're recognized on your bill.
Committee reports, please.
All right, so we've got Budget and Finance. Councilmember Toombs.
Budget and Finance recommend approval, 11 for, 0 against.
All right, and Planning and Zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
16 in favor, 0 against.
All right, I'm thinking that it's number 8 right there, number 9. Okay, so Councilmember Murphy, you can keep going to that one, or you can go to number 10 next time, okay? Do you want to try it again? Okay, all right. So committee reports are in. Back to you, Councilmember Gamble. Okay, so there's a motion to approve. Councilmember Gamble moves for approval on BL 2020-491 on second reading, properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, all those in favor of BL 2020-491 on second reading say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Gamble. Okay. We're on BL 2020-504 by Councilmember O'Connell. Councilmember O'Connell, I'm going to get you at podium number 2. Do you wish to have a public hearing on this bill tonight?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do not. This one is going to track with the previous bill, 479.
All right. So if you're interested in this bill and you are watching, this one is not having a public hearing tonight. It's BL 2020-504, again by Councilmember O'Connell. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 17.36 and 17.40 of the Metropolitan Code pertaining to creating an owner-occupied short-term rental property overlay district. Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to defer to the first meeting in February with a brief comment.
All right, so that's the motion, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you. This one is basically a companion bill to the previous bill about non-owner occupied short-term rentals in the Germantown neighborhood. So we will revisit after some more community discussion and attention from the Planning Commission and have that final conversation in February.
All right. So you've heard the motion to defer to the first meeting in February. Again, it was properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. It's a deferral motion to the first meeting in February. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. We're on item number 6. This is BL 2020-515 by Councilmember Toombs. Councilmember Toombs, do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, I do.
All right, so if you're interested in this one and you want to call in, this is the time to call. BL 2020-515, it's an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from IWD to MUG zoning for property located at 100 Athens Way at the southeast corner of Athens Way and Great Circle Road. It's 3.18 acres. Again, this is by Councilmember Toombs. It's BL 2020-515. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from IWD to MUG zoning for property located at 100 Athens Way, all at the southeast corner of Athens Way and Great Circle Road. It's 3.18 acres. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Request to open the public hearing.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular bill? I don't see anybody's hands who are up. Okay. Ms. Godin, do we have anybody on the phones for this particular bill, 2020-515?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, let me read it one more time. Councilmember Toombs, 2020-515, ordinance to amend Title 17 from IWD to MUG zoning for property located at 100 Athens Way at the southeast corner of Athens Way and Great Circle Road. It's 3.18 acres. Ms. Godin, anybody call in?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right, declare the public hearing closed. Back to you, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
Okay, Councilmember Toombs moves for approval of 2025-15 on second reading, properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of 2025-15 on second reading say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Item number 7, this is BL 2025-16 by Councilmember Parker, Withers, Van Reese, and Benedict. Okay, Councilmember Benedict is handling this one. Are you going to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're interested in this one, go ahead and call in. Councilmember Parker, Withers, Van Reese, and Benedict. It's 2025-16. It's ordinance to amend Title 17 by expanding the urban zoning overlay district for various properties located south of Briley Parkway and north of Douglas Avenue, generally along Gallatin Pike from McGavick Pike westward to the CSX Railroad. Zone MULA, SB, OR20A, OR20, CS, IR, RM6, R6, RS10, R10, RS7.5, and partially located within various plan unit development overlay districts. It's 1,093 acres, actually 1,093.36 acres. Again, this is BL 2020-516 by Parker, Withers, Van Reese, and Benedict. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by expanding the urban zoning overlay district for various properties located south of Briley Parkway and north of Douglas Avenue, generally along Gallatin Pike, from McGavick Pike westward to the CSX Railroad Zone, MULA, SP, OR20A, OR20, CS, IR, RM6, R6, RS10, R10, RS7.5, and partially located within the various planned unit development overlay districts. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized on this particular bill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
Okay, Councilmember Benedict has requested that the public hearing be open. I declare the public hearing open. Anybody here in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? I see no hands in the back. Ms. Godin, anybody on the call?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, I'll do this one real quick. BL 2025-16 by Councilmember Parker, Withers, Van Reese, and Benedict. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by expanding the urban zoning overlay district for various properties located south of Briley Parkway and north of Douglas Avenue, generally along Gallatin Pike from McGavick Pike westward. And it's partially located within various planned unit development overlay districts. Ms. Godin, anybody get on the call?
We might have a caller in the queue, Vice Mayor.
You do have a caller? Is that what she said?
Maybe not. We're currently trying to establish what bill the caller's calling on.
Okay. We will hold for just a minute.
Yes, we do have a caller.
Okay. So if you go ahead and send them through.
You have your caller, Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you. Welcome to the Metro Council. We're on BL 2025-16. I need your name, address, whether you're for or against the bill, and then you'll have 2 minutes in which to speak.
Yes, my name is Nate Weinberg. I live at 3944 Moss Rose Drive. I am for the bill. This is a natural extension of what's already been created through much of East Nashville. It will further provide for an expansion of available commercial services up and down the Gallatin corridor, and I think it will benefit both the commercial and residential components of East Nashville greatly. Have been in support of something like this for many, many years now, and up to this point there's been no opposition. I'm very proud of all the council members in East Nashville for their support and hard work to get this passed through. And I'll defer the rest of my time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Godin, anybody else on the call?
There are no more callers in the queue.
All right. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move to approve.
Okay, so I've got a motion to approve 2025-16 on second reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing nobody in the queue, we're ready to vote on the motion. We're on 2025-16. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion to approve on second reading is adopted. Thank you, Councilmember Benedict. We're on item number 8, BL 2025-17 by Councilmember Rutherford. Councilmember Rutherford, do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes.
All right. So if you're interested in this one, go ahead and call in. This is 2025-17 by Councilmember Rutherford. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from AR2A to SP zoning for properties located at 5866 Pettis Road and Pettis Road unnumbered, approximately 1,120 feet north of Sundown Drive, 44.44 acres to permit 136 detached single-family and attached single-family units. Again, we're on 2025-17 by Councilmember Rutherford. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from AR2A to SP zoning for properties located at 5866 Pettis Road and Pettis Road unnumbered. It's approximately 1,120 feet north of Sundown Drive, 44.44 acres, permit 136 detached single-family and attached single-family units. Councilmember Rutherford, come to you on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Open the public hearing, please.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? No one in the back. Ms. Godin? Anybody in the phone queue?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, I'm going to read this one more time. Okay, it's BL 2025-17 by Councilmember Rutherford, an ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from AR2A to SP zoning for properties located at 5866 Pettis Road and Pettis Road unnumbered. It's approximately 1,120 feet north of Sundown Drive. It's 44.44 acres. Ms. Godin, anybody join the phone queue on this particular bill?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right, thank you. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Rutherford, you're on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that I move for passage on second and for the third reading to be deferred until the first meeting in January.
Okay, so the motion is to pass this one tonight on second reading and have third reading on the first meeting in January. That's the motion, properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. Motion is adopted. Thank you, Councilmember Rutherford. We're now on item number 9, BL 2025-18 by Councilmember Hager. Councilmember Hager, do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
I do, Vice Mayor.
All right, so if you're interested in that one and you want to call in, go ahead. It's BL 2025-18 by Councilmember Hager. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from R10 to OR20ANS zoning for property located at 910 Robinson Road at the southwest corner of Bennett Drive and Robinson Road, 1.97 acres. Again, this is 2025-18 by Councilmember Hager. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from R10 to OR20ANS zoning for property located at 910 Robinson Road. Southwest corner of Bennett Drive and Robinson Road is 1.97 acres. Councilmember Hager, you're recognized.
Move for the open the public hearing, please.
Declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? See nobody in the back. All right, Ms. Godin, do we have people on the phone lines?
We may have some callers coming in, Vice Mayor. We just need to vet them.
Okay.
We have a caller in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right, go ahead and send them in.
Vice Mayor, the caller did not wish to speak.
Does not wish to speak. Do we have anybody else on the phone?
There are no more callers in the queue.
All right. All right. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Hager, they must have known you were here and they didn't want to talk to you. All right.
Okay. Move for passage with a comment.
All right. So we are on BL 2020-518 by Councilmember Hager. He has moved for passage on second reading. Properly seconded. Back to you for a comment.
Yeah, this is a little development that where there was a dilapidated house there for years. Got a lot of complaints about it. So this gentleman came along, and this is kind of a mixed use with 1 and 2 bedroom condominiums with about 12,000 square feet of office commercial space. I think it'll help that area a lot and give people that want an office in that area, plus a place to live, a good fit in that area, so I ask for passage tonight.
All right. So again, the motion is to pass on second reading, properly seconded. Any other discussion on this particular measure? Seeing nobody else in the queue, we're ready to vote. 2025-18 on second reading. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Hager. BL 2020-519 by Councilmember Toombs. Councilmember Toombs, do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, I do.
All right, so if you're interested in that one, go ahead and call in. It's 2025-19 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS10 to RN10A zoning for property located at 1819 River Drive. It's approximately 430 feet northeast of Doak Avenue. It's .39 acres. Again, this is BL 2020-519. It's item number 10 on the calendar. Councilmember Toombs is the sponsor. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from RS10 to R10A zoning for property located at 1819 River Drive. It's approximately 430 feet northeast of Doak Avenue. It's .39 acres. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Request to open the public hearing.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? I see nobody in the back. Ms. Godin, anybody on the phone lines?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, I'll read this one more time. It's item 10, BL 2025-19 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS10 to R10A zoning for property located at 1819 River Drive, approximately 430 feet northeast of Doak Avenue. It's .39 acres. Ms. Godin, anybody in the phone queue?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right, thank you. Declare the public hearing closed. Back to you, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
All right, Councilmember Toombs has moved for approval on second reading of BL 2020-519. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing nobody in the queue, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of 2020-519 on second reading say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, thank you, Councilmember Toombs. We're now ready for BL 2025-20. That's item number 11. I believe Councilmember Parker, you're recognized. You want to probably have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, Vice Mayor.
All right. So if you're interested in this one, go ahead and make your phone calls in. This is Councilmember Parker, BL 2025-20. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from SP to SP zoning for property located at 215 Cleveland Street, the northeast corner of Cleveland Street and Stockwell Street. It's .26 acres to permit all uses allowed under RM15A NS zoning. Again, this is by Councilmember Parker. It's BL 2025-20. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from SP to SP zoning for property located at 215 Cleveland Street at the northeast corner of Cleveland Street and Stockwell Street. .26 acres, permit all uses allowed under RM15A NS zoning. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We had no callers on that? Is that
All you have to do is declare the public hearing. You want the public hearing open.
Yes, I'd like to open the public hearing.
All right. So I declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? Okay, I see nobody in the back. Ms. Godin, do we have anybody on the call?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right, we'll read this one more time. This is by Councilmember Parker, BL 2025-20. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from SP to SP zoning for property located at 215 Cleveland Street at the northeast corner of Cleveland Street and Stockwell Street. .26 acres, permit all uses allowed under RM15A NS zoning. Ms. Godin, anybody in the queue?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for approval.
All right. So motion is to approve on second reading. This is BL 2025-20, properly seconded. Any discussion? I see no discussion. We're ready to vote. All those in favor of BL 2025-20 on second reading say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Bill passes on second reading. Thank you, Councilmember Parker. We're now ready for BL 2025-21. That's item number 12. Councilmember Withers. I'm going to put you also at podium number 8. Councilmember Withers, you want to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, please.
All right. So if you're interested in this one, go ahead and make your phone call in. It's 2025-21 by Councilmember Withers. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from CS, CL, CN, MUL, CN, MUN, R8, OR20, R6, and RM20 to MULA, MUNA, OR20A, and RM20A zoning for various parcels located southeast of Main Street and no further east than South 18th Street and partially located within Laughlin Springs East End Neighborhood Conservation District overlay, along with the 5-point redevelopment district and a planned unit development overlay district and the Edgefield Historic Preservation District overlay. I think I got all that right. It's 42.39 acres. Again, this is by Councilmember Withers, BL 2025-21. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from CSCLCN, MULCN, MUNRA, OR20, R6, and RM20 to MULA, MUNA, OR20A, and RM28 zoning for various properties located southeast of Main Street and no farther east than South 18th Street, partially located within Lockland Springs. East End Neighborhood Conservation District Overlay, the 5-Point Redevelopment District, a Plan Unit Development Overlay District, and the Edgefield Historic Preservation District Overlay District. Councilmember Withers, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing, please.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? Nope, we do have a hand. If you'd come on back to the back podium. Oh, back here in the back. See, there you go. Thank you for being here. I need your name, address, for or against the bill, and then you've got 2 minutes.
First off, thank you. I'm Danielle Rice. I currently live at 202 South 10th Street. I'm in full support of this bill. I think Brett Withers has put a lot of time and consideration and hard work into putting this proposal together, and I hope it passes. I think it'll be great for the community. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much for being here. All right. Anybody else in the back wish to speak? All right. Ms. Godin, do we have anybody in the phone queue?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right. Just in case, I'll read this one more time. BL 2025-21 by Councilmember Withers. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from a number of different zoning aspects to some more zoning aspects. For various parcels located southeast of Main Street and no further east than South 18th Street, and partially located within Lockland Springs, East End Neighborhood Conservation District Overlay, the 5-Point Redevelopment District, a Plan Unit Development Overlay District, and the Edgefield Historic Preservation District Overlay, 42.39 acres. It's BL 2025-21. Ms. Godin, anybody in the phone queue?
Yes, Vice Mayor, you have a caller in the queue.
We do have a caller. Okay. Go ahead and let him in.
You have your caller, Vice Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Welcome to the Metro Council. We're on BL 2020-521 by Councilmember Withers. I need your name, address, for or against the bill, and you've got 2 minutes in which to speak.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. My name is Sean Davis. I live at 905 Boscoville Street, 37206. I'm speaking against it just because I have concerns that the upzoning of the corridors would put pressure on these historic neighborhoods. The area is sort of already developed nicely within the current framework, and I'm just a little concerned that we're going to overstrain the existing infrastructure and the character of this historic area. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Sure. Thank you for speaking. Ms. Godin, do we have anybody else in the queue?
There are no more callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Withers, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Mayor. I would like to move approval with a brief comment.
Okay, so the motion is to approve on second reading. It's BL 2025-21, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. First of all, I want to recognize and thank the East Nashville community that worked together on creating this redevelopment district back really beginning in the 1980s, when the idea of having a 5 Points business district was a little bit of a pipe dream. When you look at those documents, they talk about like maybe someday we'll have businesses where we can go to eat in East Nashville, and maybe even people will come from outside East Nashville to visit our community, and I think that we can check that off the list. But the East Nashville community in those days came up with a lot of really forward-thinking ideas that did not exist in our base zoning districts that we had at that time. Since that time, the rest of Nashville has kind of caught up to those ideas about having buildings that are built to the street with ground floor retail and residential above. We kind of take that for granted today, but in the 80s and the early 90s, that was groundbreaking. So I just want to congratulate all the East Nashvillians who worked on that plan decades ago. Some folks, such as Hunter G., were around at that time, were still around, still putting out great ideas. But the redevelopment district was a tremendous success. MDHA staff analysis reveals that the increase in property values within the redevelopment district over a 30-year period was about 720%, which is about 3 times the value appreciation of the rest of the county. So it worked as a redevelopment district, and it's time to let that go. But I did want to work very diligently with staff. If we just went back to those same old 1970s era base zoning districts, it would really have kind of undone so much of that great work that everyone did. So I worked with staff who worked so incredibly hard, from MDHA, from the planning department. I'd really like to thank our own Matt Wilkinson, whom I worked to death. Also Lisa Milligan, Patrick Napier, and Sean Shepard in the planning department. I've had a lot of work and collaboration with staff from the codes department. And obviously also Robin Ziegler and Tim Walker from Historic. All these departments all came together with a common goal of saying, how do we replicate that redevelopment district using the tools that we have today? And I think what you see is that we have been talking about this with the neighborhoods for about a year. Some folks wanted less density in places, and some folks wanted more. I think we've largely found a good middle ground that the commercial property owners who are affected can live with and work with. It gives them maybe in some cases a little bit more room. If they needed a larger project, they could still potentially come back to the community on some of those parcels for a different zoning district that might be a little bit more intense, but that puts the neighborhoods in a really good place where they can do the property owners can do a fair amount with what they have that's reasonable. It excludes a lot of adverse uses, gives them some things that they can work with, but still allows some room for additional growth, but puts the neighborhoods back in charge of working with the council member at that time. So this has been a mammoth effort to try to get this in a good place. Really appreciate the support. You have a letter of support for this plan from outgoing MDHA Executive Director Jim Harbison, speaking to this as well. Just again, want to thank everyone. Want to thank Ms. Rice for coming and speaking today. This will take 11 zoning districts and reduce it to 4, so that if this ever comes back before the council, it will not take you quite as long to read it, Mr. Vice Mayor. But
thank you.
But just want to thank everyone, all the staff who worked so hard on it, and would like to renew my motion for approval.
All right, so the motion is to pass this on second reading. It's Bill 2020-521. Properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Withers. So we're on item number 13, BL 2020-522. This is by Councilmember Stiles. She is not here. Did anybody else sign on to this particular bill? Okay, nobody signed on to this bill, so it's deferred automatically it would be deferred to the first meeting in January. Yeah. Item number 14 by Councilmember Toombs. It's Bill 2020-523. It's item number 14. Councilmember Toombs, you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, I do.
Okay. This is 2020-523. If you're interested in this one, go ahead and make your phone call in. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing from IWD to MUNANS zoning for property located at 1317 Baptist Rural Center Drive. It's approximately 480 feet east of Weekly Avenue, 0.14 acres. Again, 2020-523 is item number 14. Councilmember Toombs, an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from IWD to MUNANS zoning for property located at 1317 Baptist Rural Center Drive. It's approximately 480 feet east of Weekly Avenue. It's 0.14 acres. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you. Request to open the public hearing.
Okay, the public hearing open. Anybody here in the back who wishes to speak on this particular matter? Okay, I see nobody in the back. Okay, Ms. Godin, do we have people on the phone lines?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, I'll go through it one more time. It's item number 14, 2020-523 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from IWD to MUNANS zoning for property located at 1317 Baptist Rural Center Drive. It's approximately 480 feet east of Weekly Avenue. It's 0.14 acres. Ms. Godin, anybody in the phone queue?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
Okay, got a motion to approve 2025-23, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of 2025-23 on second reading, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. Item number 15 by Councilmember Parker, 2025-24. Councilmember Parker, do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, Vice Mayor.
All right, so if you're interested in that one, go ahead and make your call in. It's BL 2025-24 by Councilmember Parker. It is an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 302 Edwin Street, approximately 90 feet east of Meridian Street. It's 0.37 acres. Again, Councilmember Parker, BL 2025-24, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 302 Edwin Street. It's approximately 90 feet east of Meridian Street. It's 0.37 acres. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Anybody here wish to speak on this particular matter in the back? Do I see a hand up? Yep, I do see a hand up. Come on up to the podium. If you will, state your name, address, for or against the bill, and then you've got 2 minutes in which to speak. And let me turn the public podium on. There you go.
All right, thank you. My name is Jarrell Flint. I live at 321 Edwin Street, and I am with the applicant JDD Properties, LLC. With this zone change, we're looking to offer a product that balances the existing single-family footprint with the ongoing dense development being built immediately surrounding the property. We held a community meeting, and it passed the Planning Commission unanimously. We ask for your support. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, anybody else in the back wish to speak? All right, Ms. Godin, anybody on the phone queue?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right, just to be on the safe side, one more time, BL 2025-24 by Councilmember Parker, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 302 Edwin Street. It's approximately 90 feet east of Meridian Street. It's 0.37 acres. Ms. Godin, anybody in the queue?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right, thank you. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for approval.
All right, so it's 2025-24. The motion is to approve on second reading. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Parker. Okay, we're on item number 16, BL 2025-25 by Councilmember Porterfield. She is not here. Did anybody else sign on to this bill? All right, so this is automatically deferred to the first meeting in January. We're on item number 17, BL 2025-26 by Councilmember Parker. Councilmember Parker, do you want to have a public hearing on this one tonight? Sorry, Councilmember Taylor. Getting ahead of myself. Councilmember Taylor, do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
I do not, Vice Mayor.
You do not. Okay, so this one, let me read the caption and then we'll take care of it. Councilmember Taylor, BL 2025-26, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from IWD to CS zoning for properties located at 4000 Dr. Walter S. Davis Boulevard and Dr. Walter S. David Boulevard unnumbered. It's approximately 445 feet east of 44th Avenue North. It's 19.31 acres. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized on your bill.
Thank you. I would like to defer the public hearing to the first meeting in February.
Okay. So the motion is to defer the public hearing until the first meeting in February. Okay, we've got it properly seconded. Any discussion on that? The motion to defer been properly seconded. We're on BL 2025-26 by Councilmember Taylor. All those in favor of the motion to defer say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion to defer passes. 2025-26 be heard the first meeting in February. Thank you, Councilmember Taylor. We're on BL 2025-27. It's number 18. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Request to open the public hearing.
Okay, so Councilmember Toombs has requested a public hearing on 2025-27. So if you're interested in that one, go ahead and make your phone calls in. 2025-27 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS5 to RM20A zoning for properties located at 506 Vester Avenue and 504 Weekly Avenue at the northeast corner of Vester Avenue and Weekly Avenue. It's .12 acres. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from RS5 to RM20A zoning for properties located at 506 Vester Avenue and 504 Weekly Avenue at the northeast corner of Vester Avenue and Weekly Avenue. It's .12 acres. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized on your bill.
Request to open the public hearing.
Okay, so declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? Okay, so nobody in the back. Ms. Godin, anybody in the phone queue?
There are callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right, one more time. Bill 2025-27 by Councilmember Toombs, ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from RS5 to RM20A zoning for properties located at 506 Vester Avenue and 504 Weekly Avenue, northeast corner of Vester Avenue and Weekly Avenue, .12 acres. Ms. Godin, anybody in the queue?
There are no callers in the queue.
Okay. Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
Okay, there's a motion to approve on second reading. This is 2025-27, properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of BL 2025-27 on second reading say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Councilmember Toombs, thank you. We're on item number 19, BL 2025-28. This is by Councilmember Parker. Do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, Vice Mayor.
Okay, so if you're interested in this one, go ahead and make your phone calls in. 2025-28 by Councilmember Parker. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a portion of a planned unit development located at Marina Street, unnumbered, approximately 175 feet east of Neal Avenue. It's .009 acres, zoned RS5. Again, this is 2025-28. Councilmember Parker. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a portion of a planned unit development located at Marina Street, unnumbered, approximately 175 feet of Neal Avenue. It's .09 acres. It's zoned RS5. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back here on this particular matter? Okay, see nobody in the back. Ms. Godin, anybody in the phone queue on this one?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, we'll read it one more time. BL 2025-28, it's item number 19 by Councilmember Parker. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a portion of a planned unit development located at Marina Street, unnumbered, approximately 175 feet east of Neal Avenue. It's .09 acres. It's zoned RS5. Ms. Godin, anybody get on the phone queue?
There are no callers in the queue.
Declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Parker, you're on your bill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for approval.
Okay, so Councilmember Parker has moved for approval on second reading of BL 2025-28. Properly seconded. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we're ready to vote. 2025-28 on second reading. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Parker. We're now on BL 2025-29 by Councilmember Pulley. Do you wish to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, Mr. Vice Mayor, I do.
All right, so if you're interested in 2025-29, go ahead and make your phone calls in. This is by Councilmember Pulley. It's an ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from SCR to SP zoning for a portion of property located at 4004 Hillsborough Pike, approximately 345 feet south of Richard Jones Road and within the Green Hills Urban Design Overlay District. It's .13 acres to permit an animal boarding facility, dog kennel, and all uses permitted in SCR zoning. Again, this is by Councilmember Pulley. It's BL 2025-29. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from SCR to SP zoning for a portion of property located at 4004 Hillsborough Pike, approximately 345 feet south of Richard Jones Road, and within the Green Hills Urban Design Overlay District. It's .13 acres to permit animal boarding facility, a dog kennel, and all uses permitted in SCR zoning. Councilmember Pulley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move to open the public hearing.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Show of hands of anybody in the back who wishes to be heard on this one. See a couple of hands. If you would, come on up. You can just line up behind this podium, the public podium in the back, and then I'll need your name, address, and then you'll have 2 minutes in which to speak. Also need to know whether you're for or against the bill.
Okay. Hi, my name is Tara Bergstrom, and I live at 1920 Warfield Drive. I am against this bill. I have a master's degree in animal nutrition, and my husband is a veterinary ophthalmologist. We are both very familiar with and even have worked at dog boarding facilities. There is always noise associated with these facilities, inside and out. Dogtopia has stated that they are completely indoors and have plans to mitigate the indoor noise, never stating eliminating that noise. In addition to the indoor noise, dogs have to go from their owner's vehicle to the building and back. This will happen all day long as owners are dropping off and picking up their animals from the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. During this time, a dog can easily be triggered to bark. Multiple dogs barking throughout the day adds up. Dogtopia even recognizes that dogs bark in public settings. For example, Dogtopia's blog post titled 5 Tips for Taking Your Dog in Public states, if your dog is barking or acting unruly, remove them from the situation or leave them at home. Outside of their business is no different. I have consulted with a colleague who is a PhD animal behaviorist, and she said dogs will commonly bark around an animal facility. If they like the place, they will bark out of excitement. The building is less than 130 feet from our home. Current Nashville regulations state that there must be 200 feet between kennels and residential uses. There are clearly reasons for this regulation, and one of those is noise. I researched other Dogtopia locations across the U.S., and they all seem to be in a busy shopping center and or facing a busy road to help drown out the sound, like the 8th Avenue location, not placed in a quiet back parking lot near single-family homes. I work from home and my office window faces this parking lot. If we are lucky enough to start a family, our child's room will face this lot as well. Hearing barking on and off all hours of the day and night will not only be mentally exhausting, but also extremely distracting. Being a huge animal lover and owner myself, I honestly hate that I have to take a stance on this. Please know we are in support of a business filling that spot, but it needs to be a business that is meant for original use of that location, not one that requires rezoning. We thoroughly enjoy the quiet area where we live, and we know through experience that a boarding facility, even indoors, behind our home would disturb the peace in our neighborhood.
All right,
Dogtopia is not the right fit for that location.
All right, you got your 2 minutes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, give us just a minute. We're going to wipe down the microphone. Thank you, Ms. Hayes. All right, ma'am. Name, address, for or against the bill, and you've got 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Elisa Heinzel, 1925A Warfield Drive. I oppose this zoning change and to Dogtopia moving in across the street from my home. Rezoning specifically to allow for a dog boarding facility in this area makes no sense, other than possibly finding a means to justify filling one of many vacancies at Green Hills Court, which this would be for their benefit, not for mine or my neighbors, many of whom have written to Councilmember Pulley and the Planning Commission and also signed an opposition petition. We currently have 44 signatures, which may not sound like a lot, but it represents a great percentage of the homes on our street. The zoning rules were implemented for a reason and are now apparently flexible for this single business. Having previously lived in a city much larger than Nashville, I do appreciate that for such a high-density area, we have a fairly quiet neighborhood, and we want to keep it that way. Barking is a nuisance. Feedback from a sound treatment expert regarding the sound control measures Dogtopia provided indicated there are several deficiencies related to the internal structural details and the lack of sound class for the exterior windows. When I spoke to the leasing agent, he said there was no plan to modify the exterior of the building. There are at least 8 exterior windows in addition to the main entrance, which is mostly glass. According to City Code 8.12.10, keeping of animals that disturb the peace, A, it is unlawful for any person to keep any dog which by causing frequent or loud continued noise disturbs the comfort or repose of any person in the vicinity. B, violation of this section shall be declared a public nuisance, which violation may be enjoined by any court of competent jurisdiction.
All right, your 2 minutes just rang.
Thank you.
Let me ask you one question. Did you bring a petition? Did you bring something with you?
We have an online petition. We don't have the paper. Do you have the paper with you? Yes, we have the paper.
Okay, if you could hand that to Ms. Hayes just at some point, that would be very, very helpful. We're going to wipe down the microphone. So, members of the council, our next speaker is a federal judge, U.S. Bankruptcy Court Judge Charles N. Walker. Your Honor, you're recognized.
Hi, I am Chuck Walker. I reside at 1925B Warfield Drive, and I also oppose this proposal. If you remember back in 2017, when this very council took the bold step of requiring sidewalks and new developments, Channel 4 News, The Tennessean, and several other news outlets picked Warfield Drive as the poster street for the need for sidewalks because of safety. In matter of fact, if you Google, and I urge all of you to do that before you vote, Google Nashville sidewalk policy, Warfield Drive. You'll see an article from the news, GNAnews.com, which they literally take the picture from my driveway of the street. I have 4 points that I'd like to make. The first point is traffic and more traffic. This is clearly a use that's inconsistent with our neighborhood. The preferred and default entrance and exit to Doctopia will be effectively create a 5-way intersection within my neighborhood. This is also right at the end of a blind curve. It's a recipe for disaster. Point number 2, this isn't just a change in use. It's also a change because it changes the distance in which a nuisance business can be within residences. The 200-foot barrier is there for a reason. Smelly, noisy businesses should not be close to homes. This change is not just a change in use, but it will change the quality and character of the residents who are within that 200-foot barrier, and there are several. My third point is Doctopia has not articulated any specifics about the noise mitigation or the smell mitigation. The vague conditions that were put in place do not actually say that the nuisance will be reduced or mitigated. The burden should be on them to produce specifics which show what will be mitigated and how that will impact the neighborhood. And my fourth point, approving this change would be the definition of taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. It undoes all the hard work started back in 2017 to undo the history of bad policy decisions. We still don't have sidewalks. The congestion down Hillsborough Road is only getting worse, and now you are considering a zoning change that has the potential to create a permanent nuisance in our neighborhood. Not to be overly dramatic, but failure to appreciate the concerns, the overwhelming concerns of the neighbors and the residents is the first sign that Nashville is not ready for the It City title.
Your Honor, your 2 minutes are up.
Thank you.
This is one of the great equalizers in this body, separation of different sections of government. I got to stop a federal judge from talking. Sorry. Anybody else wishing to speak on this particular matter? All right, let's go to the phone queue. Godin, anybody on the phone lines?
Yes, Vice Mayor, there are callers in the queue.
Okay, go ahead and let them in.
You have your caller, Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you. We're on BL 2025-29 by Councilmember Pulley. I need your name, address, whether you're for or against the bill, and then you've got 2 minutes in which to speak.
All righty, thank you, everyone. My name is Candace Reeve, and I live at 4116 Eden Avenue, Nashville, Tennessee, 37215. And I am for the bill. Firstly, I must admit, my husband and I, we have not yet been blessed with human children, so my love for our fur baby Sully is all I can go on for now. As such, we've already learned a lot about dog parenting, and most important has been exercise and socialization for a well-mannered dog. We have been sending our 85-pound dog Sully to Dogtopia on 8th Avenue since their grand opening. We could not be happier with the use of Dogtopia for doggy daycare and boarding. Without the use of Dogtopia and their highly trained staff, our dog would not receive the exercise and socialization he needs. This allows his temperament at home to be much more enjoyable and for us to have a happy and healthy dog. It also provides the flexibility to my family for our highly variable work schedules, and Nashville weather can definitely be crazy sometimes, so it also gives us the ability to exercise our dogs indoors. In these unprecedented times, my dog Sully has truly become an unofficial emotional support animal. And as such, I request that other individuals who have dogs are able to provide the proper care and exercise that these dogs need to be their best selves. The Dogtopia staff has been nothing but loving and professional with the dogs in their care. The facilities are the most hygienic daycare we have ever sent our dogs to, and our dog actually comes back smelling better than when he left. We're able to check in with our dog throughout the day via cameras, and we can verify that way that staff are constantly cleaning and monitoring our dogs real time. So again, all of this is through our experience with the 8th Avenue location, and in closing, we could not be more thrilled with our experience thus far with Dogtopia, and I personally just think that more affordable dog daycares being available will only allow for a thriving community of happy families, including those animals. So thank you so much for your time, and happy holidays, everyone.
All right, thank you. Happy holidays to you. Ms. Godin, next caller.
You have your caller, Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you. Welcome to the Metro Council. Need your name, address, for or against the bill. You've got 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. This is Adam Sager at Dale & Associates, 516 Heather Place, and I am speaking in favor of the bill. First, I don't know if there are any exhibits on the screen where y'all are, but just to provide a little context on the location, this is an existing building, an existing commercial building in the heart of Green Hills. It's kind of turned sideways, and it's got many commercial bays in it. I know there's a restaurant and a nail salon and other uses in this building. What we're doing is that Dogtopia is going to be one tenant of this existing commercial building. The zoning that's there today is SCR. It allows for a wide array of intense commercial uses, restaurants, nightclubs, liquor stores, grocery stores, things like that. So what we're doing is simply adding a use of the dog kennel to allow for Dogtopia, who is signed up to be a tenant here. I don't work for Dogtopia. I don't have dogs, but I have reviewed their site. I've been working with them. They look to be a very well put together organization. They have an existing location on 8th Avenue. To my knowledge, there's no complaints. I think some of the other people in opposition, we have met, by the way. We have held a community meeting. We have sent out videos, and we have sent out information. Some of the other points that the other opposition made, one, sidewalks and traffic. With all due respect, those are very important items. However, on this specific item, I don't think they are pertinent to the context of this zoning. You already have an existing building in place. The traffic could already be a restaurant. A dog daycare would have less traffic than what's already allowed there by right anyway. I believe Dogtopia has provided information on how they are going to specifically treat noise and smell. We have worked with Councilman Pulley, the neighbors, and the landowner on this. And landowner is in support. The other tenants are in support. The landowner is also putting in place restrictive covenants for their tenants should they not meet some of these things as well to provide an extra level of assurance. So thank you all.
There you go. You just hit your 2 minutes. So thank you for calling. All right, next caller.
You have your caller, Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you. Welcome to the Metro Council. I need your name, address, for or against the bill, and then you've got 2 minutes in which to speak.
Hi, this is Patricia Baymond. My address is 1508 Kimberly Court in Franklin. I am calling in support of this bill. I am a Dogtopia franchisee, and I am also a frequent customer at Green Hills Court and the surrounding area. I have a dog and think that a doggy daycare is a useful amenity in Green Hills, which is why I decided to open a Dogtopia in the area. I have heard some concerns from some neighboring residents about issues such as sound and odor coming from a doggy daycare, and I wanted to call in tonight to address in particular sound, which has come up multiple times. Dogtopia has done several different sound engineering studies, and the build out of a Dogtopia has shown that the sound emanating from the building does not exceed the sound of the traffic during the evening sleeping hours from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. The sound is very well contained inside the building due to the construction and the demising walls, which are also created from floor to ceiling with an air gap, which absorbs the sound. If you stand in the lobby of a Dogtopia, you cannot even hear the dogs playing in the playroom. And we have been happy to host the landlord and the council member to see and hear this for themselves. I also wanted to address that as an amenity to the community, as one person mentioned in favor, that Dogtopia provides for safe socialization of dogs. And I know that this has been concerned that maybe it was a dangerous atmosphere and that dogs could get injured. And we have not found that to be an issue with Dogtopia in particular because we've moved to an enrollment model so that dogs that attend daycare are with the same friends, dog friends.
Ma'am, you
care on a regular basis.
Ma'am, you hit your 2 minutes. So we appreciate
Thank you.
We appreciate you calling. All right, Ms. Godin, next caller.
There are no more callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right, so I declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Pulley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. First, let me start by thanking everybody who both came out and called in. Appreciate hearing from everyone on their concerns and their support for this. I think it's important to note to the public, especially those who came out here to hear this, as a matter of process that the council typically treats this as a night for the public so that we can hear from you, and we typically do not engage in a great debate with one another over the issues. That will come at the next reading, which is third reading, so I wouldn't assume anything into what we do as a matter of process tonight. There are a number of concerns to address, and I think it's very important that we look at those in committee. So with that, I would move approval on second reading, Mr. Vice Mayor.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Pulley. So Councilmember Pulley has moved for approval on second reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? I do have that Councilmember Mendez has to abstain on this bill. Councilmember Mendez, do you need to? Okay. Councilmember Mendez will be noted as abstaining on this bill. Any discussion on the bill? It's Bill 2025-29 for passage on second reading. Seeing nobody in the queue, all those in favor of 2025-29 on second reading, say aye. Opposed, no. All right, so the ayes have it. It will move on to third reading. Okay. We're now on BL 2025-30 by Councilmember Withers. Councilmember, there you are. Councilmember Withers, do you want to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, please, Mr. Vice Mayor.
All right, so if you're interested in this one and you want to make a phone call in, it's BL 2025-30. Councilmember Withers, ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing a specific plan for property located at 620 South 13th Street at the northwest corner of South 13th Street and Sevier Street. It's 0.18 acres to permit 2 residential units and all uses allowed under R6 zoning. Again, this is item number 21, BL 2025-30 by Councilmember Withers. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing a specific plan for property located at 620 South 13th Street at the northwest corner of South 13th Street and Sevier Street. It's 0.18 acres to permit 2 residential units and all uses allowed under R6 zoning. Councilmember Withers, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
Okay, so Councilmember Withers has moved to open up the public hearing. I declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? I see nobody in the back. Ms. Godin, do we have anybody on the phone lines?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
All right, let's try this again. Councilmember Withers, 2025-30, ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by changing a specific plan for property located at 620 South 13th Street at the northwest corner of South 13th Street and Sevier Street. It's 0.18 acres. Ms. Godin, anybody on the phone lines?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right, declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Withers, you're on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'd like to move approval with a brief comment.
All right, so Councilmember Withers has moved approval of 2025-30 on second reading, properly seconded. Back to you for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. This is one of the extremely rare cases in which I would ever entertain a single lot rezone in a residential area. This actually is an SP that was approved by my predecessor, and the homeowner came and with a request to revise that SP. It still allows 2 dwelling units, but it does maintain one of the very small existing units in the front, which has also been a community concern in that particular area of losing some of our modest housing stock in an area that lacks any kind of an overlay. So that will help to preserve that existing streetscape and existing kind of small house and provide, but while still providing the 2 family opportunities. It was found by the planning staff to meet the pattern of growth and development along Sevier Street, and also it does include screening provision for off-site parking. And so meeting all those conditions, this is one of the rare cases of a single lot zone change that I would entertain, but I would like to move approval.
Okay, so I got a motion to approve on second reading. This is 2025-30, properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion to approve? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Withers. We're on item number 22. This is Councilmember Toombs, Bill 2025-31. Councilmember Toombs, do you want to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, I do.
All right, so if you're interested in this one, go ahead and make that phone call in. This is item number 22, Bill 2025-31 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from RS 7.5 to R6A zoning for property located at 427 Tony Road, approximately 530 feet south of Yorkley Road. It's 0.18 acres. Again, 2025-31 by Councilmember Toombs. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing from RS 7.5 to R6A zoning for property located at 427 Tony Road, approximately 530 feet south of Yorkley Road. It's 0.18 acres. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Request to open the public hearing.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back interested in this particular bill? Okay, I see nobody in the back. Ms. Godin, do we have anybody on the phone lines?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, read it one more time. Councilmember Toombs is the sponsor, 2025-31, item number 22. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by change from RS 7.5 to R6A zoning for property located at 427 Tony Road, approximately 530 feet south of Yorkley Road. It's 0.18 acres. Ms. Godin, anybody in the queue?
There are no callers in the queue.
Okay, declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Toombs, you're on your bill.
Thank you. Move for approval.
Okay, motion to approve on second reading, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of 2025-31 on second reading say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Bill passes. Thank you. Bill passes on second reading. Thank you, Councilmember Toombs. And the last bill on public hearing tonight is Councilmember Taylor. It's Bill 2025-32. Councilmember Taylor, you want to have a public hearing on this one tonight?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to open the public
Okay, if
hearing.
you're interested in this one, go ahead and make your phone call in. Councilmember Taylor, 2020-532, an ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a commercial plan unit development overlay district for properties located at 701, 705, and 707 40th Avenue North, northwest corner of 40th Avenue North, and Indiana Avenue. Zone MUL, it's .78 acres, again by Councilmember Taylor. BL 2020-532, ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a commercial plan unit development overlay district for properties located at 701, 705, 707 40th Avenue North, at the northwest corner of 40th Avenue North and Indiana Avenue. It's zone MUL. It's .78 acres. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized.
Thank you. I would like to open the public hearing.
Okay, declare the public hearing open. Anybody in the back wish to speak on this particular matter? See nobody with their hands up. Ms. Godin, do we have anybody in the queue?
There are no callers in the queue, Vice Mayor.
Okay, read it one more time. Councilmember Taylor is the sponsor. BL 2020-532. It's item number 23. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by canceling a commercial plan unit development overlay district for properties located at 701, 705, and 707 40th Avenue North, northwest corner of 40th Avenue North and Indiana Avenue. It's zone MUL. Anybody in the queue?
There are no callers in the queue.
All right, declare the public hearing closed. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to move for approval.
Motion is to approve on second reading. It's BL 2020-532, properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, we're on the motion to approve on second reading. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Taylor. That ends the bills on public hearing. Thank you to the staff for handling those calls. I appreciate it. All right, we are now ready to move on to items on the consent resolution calendar. All right, so let me go through those bills that are on the consent calendar tonight and see if anybody needs to bump anything. I've got RS 2020-660, so that's item number 32, 661, 662, 663, 664, 666, 667, 668, 669, 670, 671, and 672. Anything needs to be bumped off that calendar? All right, let's go back. Did you say 658 or 668? 658 is not on the consent calendar. Okay. Anything else that needs to be bumped off? All right, that's the items on the Councilmember Johnston. 656? 666. That should have been bumped off anyway. 666 is bumped off the consent calendar. All right. So just remember 666 is no longer on the consent calendar. Okay. All right. I'm going to read you the captions of the bills on the consent calendar. This is item number 32, RS 2020-660 by Councilmembers Toombs, Taylor, and Welsh. Resolution approving Amendment 5 to a contract by and between the Metropolitan Government acting through the Metropolitan Board of Health and Vanderbilt University acting through their School of Medicine to participate as a member site of the CDC Tuberculosis Trials Consortium studies. RS 2020-661 by Toombs, Taylor, Bradford, and others. Resolution accepting a grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to the Metropolitan Government acting by and through the Metropolitan Social Services Commission to fund 2 staff positions for the Homeless Management Information Systems. Item 34, RS 2020-662 by Toombs, Gamble, and others. Resolution accepting a DNA capacity enhancement and backlog reduction program grant for the U.S. Department of Justice to the Metropolitan Government through the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to increase the capacity of publicly funded forensic DNA and DNA database laboratories. RS 2020-663 by Toombs, Gamble, and others. A resolution accepting a donation of 50,000 N95 Moldex disposable respirators from the Celanese Corporation by the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Office of Emergency Management, to be used as determined by the Office of Emergency Management to help fight the COVID-19 pandemic. Excuse me. Item number 36, RS 2020-664 by Rutherford, Murphy, and Nash, a resolution to amend ordinance number BL 2020-342 to authorize the Metropolitan government to add phasing to the acceptance of new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for properties located at 6424 and 6434 Pettis Road. Item number 39, RS 2020-667, resolution, this is by Councilmember Toombs, a resolution expressing the Metropolitan Council's preferences concerning reports from the Department of Finance. Item 40, RS 2020-668, by Hurt and O'Connell, a resolution supporting efforts to assist limited income families with home energy retrofits. Item number 41, RS 2020-669, by, excuse me, by Murphy, Henderson, and Porterfield, resolution recognizing and thanking Reese Witherspoon for funding Metro Nashville Public Schools classroom projects. RS 2020-670 by Council Members Van Reese, Young, Porterfield, and a host of other council members, resolution honoring the life of David McMurray. Item 43, RS 2020-671 by Stiles, Welsh, and others, a resolution recognizing the Weaver Domestic Violence Center for 20 years of dedicated service to the Nashville community. RS 2020-672 by Withers and Hurt and others, a resolution recognizing December 1st, 2020, today, as World AIDS Day in Nashville and Davidson County. Anything else that needs to be bumped off the consent calendar? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to committee reports. We've got Budget and Finance. I'm going to go to Councilmember Toombs.
Budget and Finance recommended approval of Resolution 2020-660, 661, 662, 663, and 667, 11-4-0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Toombs. I've got Councilmember Taylor, Health and Hospitals. Number 6. Okay, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Health, Hospitals, and Social Service Committee recommended to approve resolutions RS 2020-660 and 661, 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Murphy, Planning and Zoning. You're at 9, okay? Got it.
I lost the bill number, but we were 16 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. Public Safety, Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Safety voted for approval for Resolution 662 and 663, 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Nash, Public Works.
Public Works voted in favor of RS 2020-664 and RS 2020-668, 7-4-0 against.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you. Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections considered RS 2020-669, 670, 671, and 672. We voted 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right, and can you give me a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
All right, I got a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda, properly seconded. Any discussion on any of those items? Seeing none, we're ready to vote on the consent agenda. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, thank you. All right, so we go back to the beginning of items on resolutions that were not on consent. This is back on page 10. This is RS 2020-611 by Toombs, Evans, and others. It's a resolution accepting the recommendation of the COVID-19 Financial Oversight Committee excuse me, to amend RS 2020-394 to permit Metro Nashville Public Schools to use CARES Act funds for students and teacher laptop computers, hotspots, and pre-K through grade 12 virtual curriculum. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Do you have any committee reports other than budget?
I think all the committee reports are in.
All right, well, move for approval. Even though it wasn't deferred? Okay. My apologies.
All right, so what would you like to do with this one?
Move to defer.
Hold on just a second. I'm going to recognize Mr. Cooper.
So Resolution 611 actually needs to be withdrawn in lieu of Resolution 658.
Okay.
It concerns the same subject matter.
I'm going to go to Councilmember Johnston.
Thank you. I was lead on this, so I would move to withdraw.
All right, Councilmember Toombs, you all right with that?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. So go back. Councilmember Johnston, did you move to withdraw or did you just withdraw?
Whatever. Whatever needs to be, I will move it, I will just withdraw it, whatever.
Just for the fun of it, just withdraw, and that way we don't have to go through
Okay,
it.
I withdraw RS 2020-611.
Okay, so RS 2020-611, it's withdrawn. Thank you. All right, we're on item 25. It's RS 2020-613 by Councilmember Hall. Councilmember Hall is not here. All right, so automatically deferred to the next calendar. All right, so RS 2020-613 is automatically deferred to the next meeting. Okay, we're on RS 2020-649 by Taylor, Toombs, and others. This is a resolution approving Amendment 4 to an agreement by and between the State of Tennessee, Department of Transportation, and the Metropolitan Government acting by and through the Metropolitan Department of Public Works for improvements on Jefferson Street. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized. Hold on. There you go.
Thank you. Committee reports, please.
Okay, got planning and zoning. Here she comes. Where she stops. I got her. Okay, planning and zoning, you're on RS 2020-649.
16 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized.
Yes. I'd like to defer this for 2 meetings.
Request is to defer for how long?
2 meetings.
Okay. The motion to defer for 2 meetings. Okay, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, no discussion. All those in favor of the deferral motion say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Deferred 2 meetings. Okay, this is next item is item 27, RS 2020-652 by Councilmember Druffel. Resolution declaring a June 30th, 2021 sunset of the current property tax rate in Metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County. Councilmember Druffel, you are recognized. Wait a minute. So is podium number 9 canceled, cut off? It's no longer on my screen. If you could go to, just come on up one more to to number 8.
Yeah. 8?
8. You're recognized.
Oh, committee reports?
Okay. So budget and finance, Councilmember Toombs.
Budget and Finance voted to not recommend approval the motion to approve failed 2-4-10 against. So there's no recommendation for approval.
Okay. Thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Druffel.
Yeah, I heard the language that I need to change, and I still think this adds value. I'd like to defer 2 meetings to the first meeting in January.
Okay. So the motion is to defer to the first meeting in January, defer 2 meetings. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral? Seeing none, the motion is to defer 2 meetings. All those in favor of the deferral motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Councilmember O'Connell, we were right in the middle of the vote. Okay. So the vote was, deferral was for 2 meetings. It was passed. So the resolution is deferred 2 meetings. All right. We are now on RS 2020-656 by Councilmembers Toombs, Nash, and others. It's a resolution expressing the endorsement of the Metropolitan Council for the Metro Nashville Transportation Plan. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
All right, so I've got several up here. You've got Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance voted to defer one meeting, 12-4-0 against.
All right, so it's going to be deferred by rule, but let's get the other ones. Public Works, Councilmember Nash, you're recognized.
Public Works also voted to defer one meeting, 8-4-0 against, and we consider that a friendly deferral to give us a chance to have a special called meeting sometime within the next couple of weeks to just get a further overview of this whole project.
All right, I'm glad it was friendly. All right, Councilmember O'Connell, Traffic and Parking.
Thank you, Mr. President. We voted in committee to approve the Murphy Amendment 5-0 and then to defer the bill for one meeting, 5 in favor, 0 against.
All right, so the resolution is deferred by rule because of Budget and Finance. I now see your hand up. Did you want to speak on this?
No, thank you.
All right. All right, deferred by rule. All right. Item number 29, RS 2020-657 by Gamble, Johnston, and others. Resolution appropriating $29,822,775 in CARES Act funds to certain accounts for the benefit of various metropolitan government departments. Councilmember Gamble, right in front of me. You're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I move to defer this resolution one meeting.
All right, let's get committee reports in. Okay. Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs.
Budget and Finance recommended to defer one meeting, 12-4-0 against.
Okay, and Health and Hospitals. Councilmember Taylor, have you got that one? This is RS 2020-657. It's on page 12 of your calendar. It's a CARES Act funding one. And let me turn your microphone on. There you go. RS 2020-657.
Thank you. This was Health and Hospitals deferred by rule.
Okay. All right. Back to you, Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you. I would like to have a brief explanation.
Okay. So you want to defer this how long?
One meeting.
Okay. One meeting. All right. It's deferred. I assume it's deferred by rule.
Yes.
But it's automatically deferred by rule, but I'll let you say something. Go ahead, Councilmember.
Just want to say the CARES or COVID-19 Financial Oversight Committee took great consideration in this bill, but would like to defer to allow time for a heavy, comprehensive discussion with the council.
All right. So it's deferred by rule. Councilmember O'Connell, do you want to be recognized on this? Again, this is deferred by rule.
So thank you, Mr. President. I think even in knowing that it's deferred by rule, I guess I don't know who the right person to ask this question of, maybe the administration, maybe our legal counsel. We have a requirement, to my understanding, to disperse CARES Act funds prior to December 31st, and I'd just like some clarification. I know, obviously, we will have a small amount of time between our next meeting and December 31st, but what are the implications of deferring this by rule, I guess, is the question.
Do you want to handle that? Mr. Jameson just walked in. Mr. Jameson, did you hear the question? Okay, let me go to Mr. Cooper, and then maybe somebody can tell you what the question was. Mr. Cooper.
The question was, what are the implications for deferring this by rule? I think the administration, yesterday, they knew that it was being deferred, and the way the resolution is written, I think it's by creating the special reserve fund that it will automatically ensure that all of that money is spent down by the end of the month. So even having a deferral with a special committee meeting next week to discuss it will not impact the ability to spend all of the funds.
Okay, thank you. That helps.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember O'Connell. So we are on, it's a deferred by rule, so no voting required. Deferred by rule, it'll come up on the next agenda. We're on item number 30, RS 2020-658 by Johnston, Gamble, and others. It's a resolution accepting the recommendation of the COVID-19 Financial Oversight Committee, amending RS 2020-394 to expand the permitted use of funds allowed Metro Nashville Public Schools to use CARES Act funds for students and teachers and for pre-K through grade 12 virtual curriculum. Councilmember Johnston, you are at podium number 3. You're recognized.
Committee reports, please.
All right, Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs. Councilmember Toombs forgot to bring her paperwork to the podium. And while we're waiting, Councilmember Druffel, come up. So 9 is no longer lit on mine, so if you go to podium number 8, let me recognize Councilmember Druffel for Education.
Education deferred 5-4-0 against.
All right. Deferred, what, 1 meeting?
1 meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you. Budget and Finance, deferred 1 meeting, 12-4-0 against.
Okay. So back to you, Councilmember Johnston. You're recognized.
I'd like to move for a 1 meeting deferral, please.
All right. Motion is to defer 1 meeting, properly seconded. All those in favor of the deferral, 1 meeting, say aye. Opposed, no. Resolution is deferred 1 meeting. We're on item number 31. This is RS 2020-659 by Councilmember Toombs. A resolution appropriating the amount of $18,054,600 from the General Fund Reserve Fund for the purchase of equipment and building repairs for various departments of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee report.
All right, so you've got it.
All right, Budget and Finance recommended approval, 7-4-4 against.
All right. Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized on your resolution.
Thank you. Move for approval.
Okay, so Councilmember Toombs has moved resolution RS 2020-659. Properly seconded. Discussion on the resolution. Okay. Seeing nobody in the queue, we ready to vote? All those in favor of resolution RS 2020-659 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution passes. Thank you, Councilmember Toombs. We're now on item number 37, RS 2020-665 by Councilmember Hall, Taylor, and Welsh. Resolution requesting Mayor Cooper immediately cease the wind-down process of the Bordeaux Long-Term Care Facility and work to secure an agreement with an emergency operator to keep the residents safely in place during the pandemic. Councilmember Taylor, you're the only sponsor here. You're recognized.
Committee reports.
All right. Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs. Councilmember Toombs, we're going to have you a chair put over there so you don't have to keep walking back and forth.
Budget and Finance voted to, the motion to approve the resolution failed, 3-4-5 against, 2 abstentions.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Taylor, you've got Health and Hospitals.
Thank you. Health Hospitals voted to not recommend, 3 in favor, 3 against.
Okay, all right, you're on your resolution.
Thank you. I'd like to move for approval.
Okay, so the motion is to approve RS 2020-665, properly seconded. Discussion, Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized at podium 1.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. This is all the Bordeaux-related legislation have gotten extensive discussion at multiple committees, and so I won't rehash it all. Bottom line is, it's too late to stop the wind down. There's only about a dozen residents that are left in the facility. I think it was 14 was the count we heard yesterday at Budget and Finance, and this legislation there's no basis for being able to stop the wind down at this point. And I know a lot of people, a lot of council members, including me, have expressed a great deal of mixed feelings about that reality at multiple committee meetings over multiple meetings. I know we've got a curfew tonight, so I'm not going to rehash the mixed feelings, but there really just isn't a basis for being able to stop the wind down at this point. So I'll be voting against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Mendez. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I agree with my colleague. that this process is in motion, that there isn't really anything we can do to reverse it at this point, and that. But I did want to circle back. Through this discussion, a lot of attention has been drawn to the actions that this body took in 2014, the initial privatization of that long-term care facility. If you go back and review those meetings, I think it was 2014-688. This proposal was not presented as ending the Bordeaux long-term care facility. In fact, the way that it was sold to the community and sold to the council was, this public-private partnership. Someone other than Metro has figured out to do something infinitely cheaper than we could ever do it. They solved the problem that we just couldn't crack. A few years later, they came back and said that they needed us to subsidize their losses. So we did that. The council did that. And now the long-term care facility is closing. It's gone. 200 jobs with it, 200 decent jobs with it, and all the people that counted on that facility for long-term care. So I just want this body to be wary when proposals for privatization of government functions like this come to this body. Please, let's take a critical eye to them and try to avoid more situations like this in the future.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Parker. Anybody else wish to be heard on this resolution? All right, so here's where we are. We're on RS 2020-665, resolution requesting Mayor Cooper immediately cease the wind-down process at the Bordeaux Long-Term Care Facility. The motion is to approve this resolution. It's been properly seconded. So anybody else in the queue? All right, Madam Clerk, this is going to have a no on it, at least a no. So we're going to have to go on the board. Tell me when you're ready.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
Okay. So again, let me tell you where we are. We're on item number 37. It's RS 2020-665, resolution requesting Mayor Cooper immediately cease the wind-down process at the Bordeaux Long-Term Care Facility. Work to secure an agreement with an emergency operator to keep the residents safely in place during the pandemic. The motion by Councilmember Taylor is for passage. It was properly seconded. If you're for the resolution, you would vote aye. If you're against, you vote no. Madam Clerk, if you would, open up the machines.
All votes have been cast, Vice Mayor.
All the votes have been cast. If you would, Madam Clerk, close the machines, take the vote. All right, so I've got 18 noes, 5 yeses, 3 abstaining. Oh, so the motion fails. All right, we're on resolution RS 2020-666. It's item number 38 by Councilmember Johnston Cash and a whole host of council members. It's a resolution recognizing and congratulating the Davidson County Election Commission and all poll workers for a successful 2020 presidential election. Councilmember Johnston, you are recognized.
Thank you. Committee reports?
They're yours.
Oh, we voted 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right. You're recognized on your resolution.
Thank you. I'm sorry I pulled this off of consent in the interest of time, but I did think we had an exceptional election for a lot of reasons. 3, I wanted to point out the unprecedented turnout that we had, the process as far as mail-in votes that we had, and the circumstances with regard to the pandemic. And we had, I know that I have several poll workers in my district. We probably all have several poll workers. It was just an exceptional election from the process of all of the painstaking efforts that they went to make sure that everyone was safe and trusting in our process. And so it's just worth saying in public, thank you so much for all of their hard work and commending their successful election.
All right, so Councilmember Johnston, thank you. This is a motion to approve
Yes.
RS 2026-66, properly seconded. Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of RS 2026-66 say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, thank you, Councilmember Johnston. And we have one late file resolution before us tonight. This is a late file resolution by Councilmember Toombs. So it's a resolution, it's in your packet, a resolution accepting a Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act grant from the Northern Middle Tennessee Local Workforce Development Board, grant recipient from the Tennessee Department of Labor and the Metropolitan Government of Nashville through the Metro Action Commission for the provision of establishing programs and services in an integrated workforce system as the career services provider through the American Job Center. Councilmember Toombs, you are recognized. There you are.
All righty, move to suspend the rules.
All right. So, Councilman, in order to get this, because it's a late file resolution, it needs to have a suspension of rule. Councilmember Johnston, go before the Rules Committee.
It did, and we had no objection.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Johnston. All right. So we're back to Councilmember Toombs has moved to suspend the rules to get this matter before us. Councilmember Toombs, you have an explanation of what happened, why it's before us as a late file resolution?
I may need Director Cooper to help me out on this.
All right, Mr. Cooper.
Yes, this is a grant opportunity that came available kind of at the last minute, and in order to secure the funding, they needed to go ahead and get it approved at this meeting. So it was just a timing issue processing the grant.
All right, that's the explanation. Okay, so Councilmember Toombs has moved to suspend the rules to get this matter before us tonight. Is there any objection to suspension of the rules? Seeing none, rules are suspended. Councilmember Toombs, you're on your late file resolution.
Thank you. Committee reports?
Did it go before Budget and Finance?
It did.
Okay, Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Budget and Finance recommended approval, 10-4, 0 against.
Okay, any other committees that go before?
I have Health and Hospitals.
Health and Hospitals, I see Councilmember Taylor just chomping at the bit. You're recognized.
Can't wait. Health and Hospitals approved, 6 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Taylor. Back to you, Councilmember Toombs.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
Okay, motion is to approve the late file resolution concerning Metro Action Commission. Properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. All right, so that takes care of all resolutions. All right, so we're now on bills on first reading. Is there any bills that need to be considered separately? Anything that needs to be taken off of first reading, considered separately? Okay, seeing none, if there's no objection, we'll consider all ordinances on first reading in one vote at this time. Can I have a motion to approve? See a motion properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of all bills on introduction first reading, passing on first reading tonight? Again, properly seconded. If you're in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The motion passes. All right, thank you. So we are now on hold on just a moment. We're checking something. We're just double checking something. Hold on just a second. Okay. All right. Just a second. I think we're good. All right. So we are now going to items, bills on second reading. We're on page 25 of the calendar. So let me go through. We have a whole consent agenda on bills on second reading. So stay with me, and I'll go through the items. So BL 2020-425 is on consent. That's item number 78. Item number 469, which is item number 80, is on consent. BL 2020-511, which is item 84, is on consent. 85, item 85, BL 2020-533 is on consent. Item 87, 2020-536 is on consent. 537 is on consent. That's item 88. Item 89, 538 is on consent. 539 is on consent. 540 is on consent. 541 is on consent. 542 on consent. 543, 544, 545, 546, 547, 548, and 549. Okay, anything on there? Councilmember O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Did you say BL 2020-425 is on consent? It's item 78, I believe.
Item 78, hold on, let's go back. Item 78, 425 is on consent.
I need to pull that one if I can, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else need to be pulled? Anything else? Okay, so the only one that got pulled was the first one, 425. Okay, so I'm going to go through the bills. This is on second reading on consent. We start with BL 2020-469. That is item number 80. It's on page 27. All right, here we go. Councilmembers Murphy and Nash, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to accept a public sanitary sewer mains, manholes, and easements for 3 properties located on Clovercroft Road in Williamson County, also known as Twin Valley Farms. Next item, BL 2020-511 by Murphy and Nash, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing easement rights for property located at 4100 Aberdeen Road, formerly a portion of Mockingbird Road. BL 2020-533 by Allen, O'Connell, and Henderson, ordinance amending section 2.210.020 of the Metropolitan Code to remove the sunset provision regarding qualified project participation in the Easy Ride MTA RTA consumer program. Item number 87, BL 2020-536 by Van Rees, Toombs, and others. Ordinance authorizing the acquisition of certain right-of-way easements, drainage easements, temporary construction easements, and property rights by negotiation and condemnation, initially for purposes of Public Works Department project number 2016-R-048 on Dickerson Pike sidewalk improvements. Item number 88, BL 2020-537 by O'Connell, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance to amend the GIS system, street and alley centerline layer for the Metropolitan government by abandoning alley number 76 right-of-way from Leah Avenue to alley number 71. Item 89, BL 2020-538, Withers, Murphy, and others, an ordinance to amend the GIS system and alley centerline layer of the Metropolitan government of Nashville by abandoning alley number 264 and alley number 305 right-of-way between South 4th Street and Shelby Avenue. Item number 90, BL 2020-539 by O'Connell, Murphy, and Nash, ordinance to amend the GIS system, street and alley line center layer by abandoning White Avenue and a portion of alley number 2057 and alley number 2058, right-of-way south of Lebanon Pike and east of Rucker Avenue. BL 2020-540 by Councilmember Sledge and O'Connell, ordinance providing the honorary street name designation of Reverend Elton Lee Waller Boulevard for a portion of 2nd Avenue South. Item number 92, BL 2020-541 by Toombs, ordinance providing the honorary street name designation of Mary Watson Way for a portion of 12th Avenue North. BL 2020-542 by Pulley, Murphy, and Nash, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to negotiate and accept permanent and temporary easements for the Woodmont Lane Stormwater Improvement Project for properties located on Woodmont Lane. BL 2020-543 by Toombs, Murphy, and Nash, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to abandon existing stormwater easement rights for property located at Brick Church Pike, unnumbered. BL 2020-544 by Councilmember Taylor, Murphy, and Nash, ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to abandon the existing public water main and easements and to accept new public water main and replacement fire hydrant assembly and easements for property located at 627 19th Avenue North. Bill 2025-45 by Murphy and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to accept new public sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements, property located at Hamilton Church Road, unnumbered. Bill 2025-46 by Taylor, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to abandon existing sanitary sewer main and to accept a new sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 1206 Buchanan Street. Bill 2025-47 by Taylor, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to abandon existing public sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole, and easements for property located at 5 City Boulevard, also known as 1 City, Nashville. Bill 2025-48, Murphy, Nash, and Stiles, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to abandon existing public sewer main, sewer manhole, and easements, and to accept new public sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements, property located at 508 Collins Park Drive. And then Bill 2025-49 by O'Connell, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to abandon existing water and sanitary sewer mains, a fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes and easements, and to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes and easements for properties located at 1420 Adams Street, also known as Madeira, Germantown. All right, that takes care of all measures on second reading. Anything needs to be bumped off of that? Remember, we bumped 425. Everything else stayed on. All right. Anything needs to be bumped? All right. We will then take on committee reports. I'm going to go to Councilmember Toombs, Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance recommended approval of Bill 2025-33, 536, 540, and 541, 11-4, against.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Toombs. Councilmember Murphy, where are you? There you are. I'm going to go to podium number 9. There you go.
16 in favor, 0 against.
On all of them?
Yes.
All right, so I've got 469, 511, 536, 537, 538, 539, 542, 543, 544, 545, 546, 547, 548, and 549. Right, Public Works, Councilmember Nash, where are you? There you are.
Okay. Public Works voted in favor of 536, 537, 538, 539, 540, 541, 542, 543, 544, 545, 546, 547, 548, 549, 7 in favor, 0 against.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Nash. And I think the last committee report is Traffic and Parking, Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had 3 bills to consider. Bill 2025-37, we were 3 in favor, 0 against. Bill 2025-38, 3 in favor, 0 against. Bill 2025-39, 3 in favor, 0 against.
All right, and can you give me a motion to approve all these bills on second reading? Councilmember O'Connell moves for passage of all those bills on second reading that I've just read on the consent agenda. Properly seconded. Any discussion? All right. Seeing none, we're ready to vote on the consent agenda on second reading. All those in favor of the consent agenda on second reading say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Those bills are passed on the second reading consent agenda. Okay, now we're going to go back to bills on second reading that were not on the consent agenda. We're on page 25. It's item number 76, BL 2019-8. Council members Roberts, Henderson, and Toombs. It's an ordinance amending section 17.20.120 of Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code pertaining to provisions of sidewalks. Councilmember Roberts, there you are. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right, I've got codes. Councilmember Cash is over there. You're recognized.
We voted 5 in favor, 0 against to defer to the January 19th meeting.
All right. Planning and zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
Thank you. We also deferred this to the January 19th meeting, 16 in favor, 0 against.
All right. And Public Works, Councilmember Nash.
Likewise, We deferred till January 19th at the request of the sponsor, 8-4-0 against.
All right. So before I go back to Councilmember Roberts, Mr. Cooper, it's my understanding this may have triggered Rule 43, which is an automatic deferral of one meeting.
Without a suspension of the rules, correct.
Okay. So Councilmember Roberts, I want to come back to you. What do you want to do?
It's the same both ways, right? I can suspend the rules, or I can just defer it until the 19th.
Yeah, so let me explain what's going on. So it automatically, because of the nature of the rule, it automatically goes to it's deferred to the next meeting of this body. If you want to defer it to another time, you're going to have to move to suspend the rules.
I'd like to move to suspend the rules, please.
All right. So Councilmember Roberts, so let me explain what she's doing. By Rule 43, this bill hasn't been on the calendar for a while, so it's been off, and by Rule 43, it's automatically, when it came back on, it's automatically deferred to the next meeting. Councilmember Roberts would actually like to defer it to a later date. So that's what she's asking for. That's what she's asked to suspend the rules. Is there objection to suspension of the rules? All right. Seeing none, Councilmember Roberts, the rules are suspended. You're recognized.
I'd like to defer this until the second meeting in January, which I think is the 19th.
Okay. So Councilmember Roberts has moved to defer this bill to the second meeting in January, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, we're voting on a deferral to the second meeting in January. All those in favor of the deferral motion say aye. Opposed, no. Deferral motion passes. Thank you, Councilmember Roberts. Okay, next bill is BL 2020-300 by Councilmember Benedict, Bradford, and others. It's BL 2020-300. It's item 77. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 9.30 of the Metropolitan Code to restrict construction noise between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. Councilmember Benedict, you are recognized at podium number 1.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right, codes. I've got Councilmember Cash. There you go.
We voted to accept the substitute, and then 5-0, and then voted in favor of the bill 5-0.
Okay. Thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move the substitute.
All right. So Councilmember Benedict has moved a substitute. There are two substitutes in the package, so she's moving hers. All right. So Councilmember Benedict has moved the substitute. Her substitute, properly seconded. Back to you, Councilmember Benedict, for an explanation.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
You
So
on?
one of the sorry, I had to pull the mic down a little shorter over here than my colleague. So one of the concerns that we have all heard many times is that construction noise is too disruptive to existing neighbors in residential zoning. And residential construction hours currently are allowed from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday. This bill will change those hours to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And during the hottest summer months, when the average temperature is well above 80 degrees, the hours will be 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., also shorter than they are today. While working through different iterations of the bill, my main goal was to make daily life better for our neighbors, many of whom have contacted each of us. However, I also understand the city's need for additional housing. I believe I've struck a balance that will allow builders to work at times that are more respectful of our neighbors while also giving enough room for needed housing to be constructed. I was hopeful to be more restrictive with these hours. However, the building community rightly pointed out that hot weather working conditions can be dangerous. I don't want to put construction workers like roofers and concrete finishers at risk during our hottest months of June through August. So the hours that I've proposed in this bill are 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. during those summer months. That is not the result I was hoping for, although worker safety is important, and especially with as many workers in this industry as we have here. So upon comparison to peer cities in Tennessee and in the Southeast, the proposed hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. are in line with other cities' current construction hours. Those cities include Brentwood, Franklin, Chattanooga, Mount Juliet, Knoxville, and Atlanta, most of which have grown at higher rates than Nashville over the past 10 years. This bill is specific to residential zones only, and it only applies to the most loud and invasive work like excavation, demolition, dump trucks, jackhammers, compressors, cranes, graders, bulldozers, backhoes, roofing, and the like. This bill is not designated to slow down construction, which has been a concern that I've heard, but rather to restrict the most noisy work to reasonable hours rather than very early and very late in the evening. I believe this will significantly improve the lives and the quality of life for Nashvillians, while it also I've found the right balance in providing needed density for the city. So I ask for your support, and with that, Vice Mayor, I renew my motion.
All right, so thank you, Councilmember Benedict. So Councilmember Benedict this is a motion on the substitute. It's properly second. The discussion, Councilmember Cash on the substitute? It's okay, so Councilmember Cash, you're recognized. Okay.
Thanks. I know I had several construction projects in my district this past summer as people were quarantined in their homes, that several large projects that did cause a lot of noise. And so I was very excited when I saw that Councilmember Benedict had written this bill, and I think as she said, she has done a great job of doing her research and talking to stakeholders, and rather than just kind of lashing out and saying, oh, we got to stop this noise totally, kind of balance the housing needs and construction needs with the residential life or residential way of life that especially during COVID when more people are at home longer and hearing this more. And the substitute, I think, is a good indication that she has gone even farther to make sure that there is a good balance with the change in the summer months to benefit the construction workers and make sure that the heat doesn't harm them and but they don't lose valuable building time. So I encourage council members to support this bill.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Cash. Okay, so we're on a motion to approve the substitute, again, properly seconded. Any other discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, we're voting on the substitute. All those in favor of the substitute say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Substitute passes. Okay. And we've got one abstention, which is Councilmember Lee. All right, so we're now on BL 2020-300 as substituted. Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move the bill as substituted, please.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve the bill as substituted on second reading, properly seconded. Councilmember Cash, I still got your hand up. Do you need to talk again? Okay. Okay, so we are on BL 2020-300 as substituted. The motion is to pass, properly seconded. Any other discussion? Again, we're on second reading. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Benedict. Okay, we're on item number 78. It's BL 2020-425 by Councilmember Rosenberg. It's an ordinance to amend Chapter 16.24 of the Metropolitan Code to restrict the amount of fill material that can be placed upon property in close proximity to a river. Councilmember Rosenberg, you are recognized. There you go.
Thank you. 2 meetings, please.
So this is a motion to defer 2 meetings?
Yes, please.
Okay. So it's a motion to defer 2 meetings, properly seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the deferral motion 2 meetings say aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Rosenberg. All right. We're on item number 79, BL 2020-456 by Councilmember Allen, Toombs, Bradford, and Taylor. Ordinance amending Chapter 11.22 of the Metropolitan Code to require landlords to provide notice to tenants prior to termination of tenancy and non-renewal of a lease. Councilmember Allen, I'm going to put you at podium number 4. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'd like to move the amendment, please.
All right, let's get a committee report in there first.
I would like to get the committee report.
Councilmember Parker, have you got that one? Okay. Affordable housing? Councilmember Parker.
Affordable Housing considered the amendment and voted 9 in favor and 0 opposed. As well, we considered the bill as amended, voted 9 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Parker. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Now I'd like to move the amendment with
all
the
right. Now,
explanation.
Councilmember Allen has moved the amendment on 2020-456, properly seconded. Back to you.
Thank you. So the amendment, just to give the context for the bill, this is the bill that requires landlords to give notice to tenants. It now has 2 parts to it. One is if a property changes hands, and the fancy word for that is if the tenancy is assigned. Mr. Cooper, am I saying that right? That we are requiring that notice is given, that has happened after it takes place, putting the burden on the buyer or the assignee. This amendment changes that the information they would have to provide would be the owner's name and address, telephone number, and contact information for either the owner or the owner's main point of contact, and that's what the amendment does. And then the second part of this bill is for 12-month-long leases to require 60 days notice before a lease is not renewed, which just says that the tenant and the owner are going to agree ahead of time now that 60 days ahead of time they'll let each other know if they're not going to be there. And the whole goal of this has been to ensure that people have time to find a new place to live if that's what is going to be happening. So we're just trying to provide protection for tenants that they've got ample time to find new accommodations if that's needed. So with that, I renew my motion for approval for the amendment.
All right, so Councilmember Allen has renewed her motion on approval of amendment on Bill 2024-56. It was properly seconded. Any other discussion on it? Any discussion? Councilmember Struffel. No, okay. Can't see as well as I used to. All right, so we're on the amendment. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we're on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment say aye. Opposed, no. Amendment passes. All right, so you're on Bill 2024-56 as amended.
Thank you. And with thanks to the entire Affordable Housing Committee and Councilmember Taylor and Councilmember Mendez for all the work that has gone into crafting and recrafting this to make it something that everyone agrees does the job, I would like to move approval for the bill as amended.
All right. So Councilmember Allen has moved 2024-56 as amended for passage on second reading, properly seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of that bill as amended, 2024-56 as amended on second reading, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you. All right. We're now on Bill 2024-90 by Councilmember Rosenberg. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 by changing AR2A, RS40, and RS80 to SP zoning for various properties located at 9293 and 9401 South Harpeth Road, Griffith Road unnumbered, Lewis Road unnumbered, South Harpeth Road unnumbered, Highway 100 unnumbered, and Old Harding Pike unnumbered, north of Highway 100 spanning from South Harpeth Road to Lewis Road. It's approximately 1,119 acres, permit a maximum of 506 single-family lodge, religious institution, greenway, agricultural activity, cemetery, safety services, pond, lake, and associated accessory uses. Councilmember Rosenberg, there you are. Councilmember Rosenberg is recognized. There you go.
Barely recognized. Thank you. Committee report, please.
Planning and zoning, Councilmember Murphy.
Thank you. The substitute was put on the resolution, or on the bill, 15 in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention, and it was recommended for passage on the recommendation that it will be re-referred to planning, 16 in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention, and I would like to be marked as abstaining on this legislation.
Okay, so please note that Councilmember Murphy will be marked as abstaining on this legislation. Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized.
Thank you. So I'm going to introduce a substitute like Councilmember Murphy mentioned. So I'll explain how it changes the proposed bill. And then once we put the substitute, I'll go into details more on the legislation and its importance to the community. So this, of course, is the legislation that rezones to single family and preserves open space in the property known as South Harpeth Farms on Highway 100. As an email you received from Alan Thompson a couple hours ago, indicates this substitute makes some changes in response to requests made during our community meeting last week and previously, including during our public hearing here. The substitute reduces the number of units from 506 to 449. It increases the total amount of open space preserved to over 800 acres, or nearly 3/4 of the property. It further reduces the allowed uses on the property, both primary and accessory. It increases the dedication of land for a fire hall to 3 acres, which reflects the request of the fire marshal during a conversation we had a couple weeks ago. It reflects explicitly the requirement that the fire marshal sign off on any plans. I'll go into the details of the rezoning further following the vote to accept the substitute, including addressing concerns y'all might have heard. And with that, I move the substitute.
All right, so Councilmember Rosenberg has moved the substitute, properly seconded. We have people in the queue. Councilmember Hurt, you wish to be recognized on the substitute? Not on the substitute. Councilmember Lee, on the substitute, or would you rather wait? Okay. Anybody else wishing to be recognized on the substitute? All right, seeing none, we're on the substitute. Again, it's properly seconded. All those in favor of the substitute say aye. Opposed, no. Substitute is passed. You're on your bill as substitute. Councilmember Rosenberg.
Thank you. First, I'd like to apologize for the dozen or so emails you received from Williamson County over the last 24 hours. I'm not sure who directed those folks to send inaccurate emails to us in Nashville, but I'll note that among the emails we've received over the last several days, only one came from someone who lives within 1.5 miles of the site and now is in support. We received an email from the head of school across the street and now is in support. We did receive one email from a landowner nearby in opposition. The rest of the emails came from out of county or many miles away. So the substance, this bill converts from AR2A and RS80 zoning to an SP allowing only single-family homes at a density of 0.4 units per acre. Among the uses being eliminated that are currently permissible there are mobile home dwellings, historic home events, short-term rentals, correctional facilities, daycare centers, assisted living, hospice, nurseries, kennels, communication huts, satellite dishes, and a long list of others. To answer some of the questions that you've heard, the analysis from planning included 3 reasons for disapproval. One was lack of approval from the fire marshal, which had not been initially pursued. We've since had a conversation with him. He's expressed his comfort with the plans, both for ingress and egress and emergency access, and for enhancing water pressure throughout the area. And we'll ensure we have that in writing prior to third reading. Another was the number of uses that were still allowed on the property, and the substitute just addressed that. And the other was the sewer extension policy, which says that that sewer cannot be extended. It's because Metro Water doesn't have the capacity, but this is not an area served by Metro Water. The plan includes significant public safety enhancements, including a range of roadway improvements. Among them is reconstruction of an intersection to give safe access to a nearby school, upgrades to a number of dangerous intersections, and the property owners agreed to make badly needed upgrades to the intersection of Highway 100 and McCrory, all at no cost to the city. They will dedicate land for a needed fire hall, again at no cost, and they will enhance water pressure to nearby homes that do not meet current safety standards, again at no cost to the city. This plan calls for far less impactful use of the land than is currently allowed, and that's good for the community, and it protects the natural resources on the property, which is really beautiful if you all haven't had a chance to be out there. And also around the community, including the South Harpeth Fork, which touches the property across the street from one side of this property. I'm glad to answer any questions and ask for your support on second reading, so I move approval with a re-referral to the Planning and Zoning Committee, please.
All right, so let's say where we are. We're on item 81. It's Bill 2024-90 as substituted. Councilmember Rosenberg has moved for approval of 2024-90 as substituted on second reading with the re-referral back to planning, the Planning Committee. Properly seconded. Discussion. Councilmember Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. At the last meeting, this legislation was presented, and I recommended a deferral. A recommendation that went against my council members' desires. However, if anyone knows me, they know that I do what I believe is right, and I stand on it. Always have, always will. I recommended that deferral so I and other colleagues could do our due diligence in order to take a position to which we can not only support, but strongly encourage or not. I believe that's what good governance looks like. This morning, before driving into work, I made my third intentional trip to South Harpeth to observe the traffic and activity. I counted no more than 25 cars traveling on Highway 100, both ways on a stretch of about 7 miles. Then I turned around, went back to McCory Lane to the interstate, and I counted 35 cars traveling south on McCory Lane and 3, including my car, traveling north to the interstate. I agree that the area is quiet, beautiful, and in my opinion, perfect for an ideal community. I feel very confident in saying that after a few conditions changed as outlined in the planning, in the engineer's letter, aligned with the planning department and commission and the community's request, this would be a good development that would bring rooftops to support the brand new One Bellevue Place. We do not need to repeat what happened to the Bellevue Mall. Thus, I give my strong support and ask you all to do the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember. All right, Councilmember Lee, you're recognized.
Thank you, sir. I think most of the questions that I had around this were answered. Some of the main points that people had reached out to me to talk about had to do with the disapproval. I'm not sure, and you may want to explain that a little more, because what I was told were things like some of the projects, they don't know exactly what's going to be there yet, so then that couldn't specifically be approved because we didn't have that. But I think it sounds like you all have kind of looking at what you want to put that now. So I think my things have been answered, and if not, when it is re-referred to planning, if any more has to come out, I think it will come out. But I'm just going to ask anything else that needs to be more specifically explained so that some of the, oh, and I do want to say I understand how sometimes people from outside the district are coming in and they don't know what really needs to be in that area, and you are in that area. So I trust what you're saying, but I would like for you to explain it just a little more about the specifics about what's going on there. Thank you, sir.
So, Councilmember Lee, I'm going to go back to Councilmember Rosenberg, but that really was, did you have a specific question for Councilmember Rosenberg, or Councilmember Rosenberg, can you answer it?
Absolutely.
All right, Councilmember Rosenberg, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember. This specific plan calls for no more than 449 single-family homes, largely be in the valley area that's basically unseen from Highway 100 most of the property. The exact layout hasn't been set, and that's why it's a regulatory SP instead of a regular one. But there are some limitations written as far as building materials to ensure that they're high-quality homes and not something that would not be highly desirable. But it's conceived as totally single-family, with the exception of the fire hall at the entrance to Highway 100, which had already been identified by the fire marshal, who's currently identifying areas around the county that need fire halls as a really ideal location for this.
Councilmember Lee?
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, we've got a couple more people in the queue. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the work that's gone into responding to the concerns from the community, and I've got a map with little X's to show where I hear opposition coming from, and certainly there are some that is off the map, but there are some that are close enough that I still want to make sure we address the concerns that we're hearing. And the one question that hasn't been talked about specifically tonight is the community plan, that this area has a community plan of T2 rural maintenance, which is something that we don't have in very many parts of the county. It's up in Whites Creek, and when I was on the Planning Commission, a great deal of time was spent on talking about the way to preserve the rural character because of that T2 maintenance community character plan, and that is what this has as well. And so I would just appreciate more discussion, or at least to have it acknowledged that as we pass this tonight, that's still going to be an important part of discussion on third reading, that by going to the 449 units, we're still a far cry from the 110 that the planning staff identified as being appropriate for that T2 rural maintenance. And that when we say that the density is low, that's the average density, but the number of units that are actually placed in that valley area, my understanding, are very similar to what I have in my neighborhood. My lots are 8,000 square feet. And so that's something that I simply want to acknowledge, that I still have a concern with that very large deviation from the community plan, and I hope that we can continue to discuss that and address it further. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go back to Councilmember Rosenberg.
Thank you, and thank you, Councilmember Allen. First, I'd like to note that the development footprint is exactly what's conceived in Nashville Next, and this is a conversation about lot size, and this would be consistent with T4 rural maintenance at the very least. Also, what the planning staff said in their report, as I understood it, is that they got to 110 units by taking the 220 acres of developable land and dividing it by 2 acres per lot. It wasn't that 110 lots was all that was appropriate for this property. It's just what the math said if you put exactly 2-acre lots only in the developable areas. But I think it's very important that we retain this character out there. We did an urban design overlay over part of Highway 100 last term to ensure that this corridor kept its character. And for this area on the outside of the Natchez Trace Parkway, the west side of it, the number one thing I heard, both in 2015 and 2019 when I ran and in between, is that they wanted this to remain a special, beautiful place without commercial, without apartments and some of the other uses that you see being built in open space. And I think that this achieves that really well, especially looking at the 800 acres of land that's going to be permanently preserved on this property. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Rosenberg. Councilmember Gamble, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I too had concerns about this bill after the public hearing, but I appreciate the sponsor going back and doing more community engagement to work out some of the issues that were expressed, particularly dealing with the fire marshal's recommendation. And for those reasons, I'll be voting in support of the bill today.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. All right, anybody else wishing to speak? Councilmember Hager.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I went over this development, and I appreciate the sponsor working on it to get it down to a certain amount of the houses. Of course, one concern that I had and I like about it is the 700 and something acres, almost 800 acres that's going to stay open space. My only concern that I have about it is how it's going to be taken care of. Is it in perpetuity? Is it going in a land trust? He says a conservation zone. I just want to make sure before the third reading that there's some type of assurance that this property is going to be protected in perpetuity, because we're talking about close to 800 acres. So that would be one question between now and the third reading, that I'm assured that this close to 800 acres is going to stay like it is in perpetuity. The other thing I want to make sure of, if it's going to stay in perpetuity, then of course somebody's going to have to keep the property up or leave it as hardwood timber or whatever's there now as it is. That's another concern. And a lot of times what happens is people want to give this, donate it to the parks, and parks right now is just strained completely for maintenance and everything else. So I'll probably vote for it tonight, but I want to know between now and the third reading how this almost 800 acres is going to be protected, how it's going to be taken care of, and is it in perpetuity. There are ways to do that, like land trusts and things of that nature. That was one of my concerns, but otherwise, I understand why Planning Commission disapproved it, but also I know this is a lot of land. It's 1,100 acres. Some of it can be developed, but I'm concerned about how we keep the other part protected in perpetuity for our grandchildren. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hager. Councilmember Rosenberg?
Thank you, and thank you, Councilmember. Yeah, what the landowner's been talking about is a permanent conservation easement that would be in perpetuity. But if it's appropriate and typical for something else to be written in more specific, I'm certainly open to that. Whatever guarantees that this 800 acres remains as it's intended.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Hager, any follow-up?
I just want to make sure that a conservation easement is the same as a land trust. If it is and it's in perpetuity, that's fine with me. Not sure whose name the property will be in. I don't know if it'll be in the developer's name or somebody's name for the use and benefit of who and what. If somebody gets injured on the property, who's responsible for it then?
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hager. Councilmember Rosenberg, can you work with Councilmember Hager before third reading, see if you can get his questions answered?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anybody else interested in questions on second reading? This bill is going to be, if it passes, it gets referred back to planning on third. Okay, nobody else in the queue, so let's go back over where we are. We're on item number 81. It's BL 2020-490 as substituted. The motion is to approve on second reading Bill 2020-490 as substituted with the re-referral back to the Planning Committee. That's the motion. It's been properly seconded. Anybody else wishing to discuss this bill on second reading? All right, seeing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor of BL 2020-490 on as substituted on second reading with the re-referral back to Planning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The bill passes. Bill as substitute passes. All right. Thank you, Councilmember Rosenberg. We're on BL 2020-494 by Councilmember Stiles. Councilmember Stiles is not here, so the bill gets automatically deferred to the next meeting. Item 83, Bill 2020-505 by Councilmember Hall. Councilmember Hall is not here, so that bill automatically gets deferred to the next meeting. Item number 86, BL 2020-534 by Councilmember Druffel. Ordinance amending the debt management policy for the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to place a cap on the percentage of budgeted revenues devoted to debt service and amending Section 5.04.110 to require a quarterly debt report from the Director of Finance. Councilmember Druffel, you're recognized at number 8. Okay.
Committee report.
All right. Budget and Finance, Councilmember Toombs.
Budget and Finance recommended a one-meeting deferral, 10-4-0 against.
All right, back to you, Councilmember Druffel.
Yeah, I recommended a two-meeting deferral to the first meeting in January.
All right, so was it deferred by rule and budget? I think it was a motion to defer. Okay, so we're just debating whether it was a deferred by rule.
It was a two-meeting deferral.
Was it a two-meeting? Excuse me. All right, so the motion by Councilmember Druffel is for a two-meeting deferral?
That's correct.
Correct? All right, so properly seconded. Any discussion on the two-meeting deferral? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to defer this ordinance 2 meetings, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. BL 2020-534 is deferred 2 meetings. I believe that takes us through all measures on second reading. Is that right? Okay, we are on bills on third reading. Starts on page 35. Every measure, every ordinance is on the consent calendar. Okay? So let me just go through them. It's 385, 457, 503, 506, 507, 508, 509, 510, 512, 513, and 514. Anything that needs to be bumped off the consent calendar. Again, every measure on third reading is on the consent calendar. Oh, Councilmember Cash? Okay, Councilmember Nash has bumped 509. Okay, anything else needs to be bumped? All right, seeing none, everything else will stay on the consent calendar except 509. All right, here we go. BL 2020-385, that's item number 101 by Councilmember Roten. Ordinance to amend Title 17 by applying a neighborhood landmark overlay district property located at 3060 Lebanon Pike, southwest corner of Dania Crest Drive and Lebanon Pike, zone RS15. Item number 102, BL 2020-457 by Rosenberg, O'Connell, and others. Ordinance to amend Section 13.08.080 of the Metropolitan Code to restrict the Metropolitan government from entering into agreements or contracts to acquire surveillance footage or data captured by technology owned by a person or business without the direct consent of that person or business. BL 2020-503 by Swara, Stiles, and Henderson. All right, so we're going to have to take 503 off of the consent agenda because none of the sponsors are here. Swara, Stiles, and Henderson. Okay, so that's item 103. It has to be taken off of consent. Deferred by rule. Okay. Oh, Councilmember Murphy, for what reason?
I'd like to defer to the councilman in the middle of the room.
Councilmember Roten, for what reason?
The property on Dandy Crest, it was my mistake. That was supposed to be withdrawn.
That would be item 101, BL 2020-385. So that needs to come off consent so he can withdraw it.
Okay, so this is item 101.
Thank you, Mr. Vice.
We thought we were so good because we had everything on there, so things were starting to pop off the consent calendar.
My apologies.
All right, you're excused. Okay. All right, so just to remind you all, item 101 is now off the consent calendar as well. All right, item 103 is deferred to the next meeting because none of the sponsors are here. Okay. Okay. BL 2020-506 by O'Connell, Van Reese, and others. Ordinance approving an agreement between the Metropolitan Government and Cheekwood Botanical Gardens and Museum of Art concerning the care and maintenance of the garden area in Riverfront Park in downtown Nashville. Item 105, BL 2020-507 by Cash Toombs and others. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government through the Department of Public Works to accept a contribution of $25,000 for the construction of a signalized crosswalk at the intersection of 21st Avenue South in Belcourt. Item 106, BL 2020-508, Rosenberg, Toombs, and Nash. An ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government through the Department of Public Works to accept a contribution of $450,022.60 for the construction of intersection improvements at SR 100 and Pasquo Road. Let's see, item 108, BL 2020-510, Withers, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon an existing easement right located at 220 Riverside Drive, formerly a portion of Barclay Drive. Item 109, BF 2020-512, Roberts v. Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon existing easement rights located between Louisiana Avenue and Tennessee Avenue, formerly a portion of 50th Avenue North. Item 110, BL 2020-513 by Taylor, Toombs, and others. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government acting by and through the Department of Water and Sewer Services to provide public water service improvements for Alta Foundry LP, as well as other existing properties in the area. And item 111, BL 2020-514 by Henderson, Murphy, and Nash. Ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government to abandon existing sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manhole and easements, and to accept new public sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes and easements for 3 properties located at 3916, 3920, and 3922 Cross Creek Road. Those are the items on the consent calendar on third reading. Anything else that needs to be bumped off? Okay. All right, Councilmember Murphy, I think we only had one report, but I believe it was on 385. So we'll come back to that, but can you go ahead and make the motion on bills on third reading on the consent calendar? Sorry. There you go.
I'd be happy to. I'd make a motion for on the consent agenda.
All right, so Councilmember Murphy has moved for approval on all bills on the third reading consent calendar, properly seconded. Any discussion on any of those bills? Seeing none, all those in favor of all items on the third reading consent calendar say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. You adopt. Thank you, Councilmember Murphy. All right, so we are now back on bills on third reading that were not on the consent. First one is item 101, BL 2023-85 by Councilmember Roten. Ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code by applying a neighborhood landmark overlay district probably located at 3060 Lebanon Pike at the southwest corner of Dania Crest Drive and Lebanon Pike, zone RS15. Councilmember Roten, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I've changed my mind on this one. We're gonna defer this to the first meeting in March, give these folks a little more time and see what they get done on it. So I move deferral to the first meeting in March.
First meeting in March. Councilmember Murphy, you're recognized for a committee report.
It seems that we are more eager about this than the councilman is, and we voted 16 in favor, 0 against for passage.
All right. But Councilmember Roten still wants to move to the first meeting in March. That's his motion, properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to defer to the first meeting in March say aye. Opposed, nope. Deferral motion passes. All right. Thank you, Councilmember Roten and Councilmember Murphy. Item number 103 is deferred automatically. And we are on BL 2020-509. That's item number 107 by Councilmember Cash and Bradford. Ordinance to amend the GIS systems map for the Metropolitan Government by renaming the private road Dixie Place from 21st Avenue South to the dead end as Vivian Thomas Way. Councilmember Cash, you're recognized.
Thank you very much. And I will do this quickly, but just wanted to acknowledge the great man that I think we have are renaming this street for. He didn't get due credit in his day, and I want to make sure he does now. So Vivian Thomas Way is going to be the new name for Dixie Place. Vivian Thomas went to Pearl High School. His grandfather had been enslaved. He after school he became a lab assistant at Vanderbilt, and with Dr. Blaylock mastered surgical techniques. And which later, this research saved lives of thousands of soldiers in World War II. Yet, while he was doing this research and working for Vanderbilt Hospital, he was categorized as a janitor and paid as such. So I'm glad that in 2020 we can at least recognize Dr. Vivian Thomas in this way and rename the street after him. Thanks.
All right, you are welcome. Thank you for recognizing that. So we are on item 107, BL 2020-509. Councilmember Cash moves for approval on third reading, properly seconded. Any discussion on the bill? Vivian Thomas Way. Seeing nobody in the queue, all those in favor of BL 2020-509 say aye. Opposed, no. Bill passes on third reading. Is that it? Okay, so that's it. I've got one announcement that's important for you all to know. This is from Councilmember Toombs. There will be a special meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee on Monday, December the 7th at 4 p.m. to review and discuss the overall process for the CARES Act, as well as to review and discuss RS 2020-657 and 658. Those are resolutions that were on page 12. Again, a special meeting of Budget and Finance Committee on Monday, December the 7th at 4 p.m. And all council members are invited. Is it virtual? It will be virtual. It will be virtual so that we will be able to get notice out to you all. But remember, it's next Monday, December the 7th at 4 p.m. Anybody else have anything else? Councilmember Nash, you're recognized.
It looks like the special called meeting for Public Works and Planning and Finance and Transportation will be held on the 8th at 4 o'clock. That'll also be virtual. Certainly everyone's welcome to join us. That's to discuss the transportation plan, get a little further refresher on all the aspects of that plan.
All right. Anything else? I have a motion to adjourn, properly seconded. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn say aye. Opposed, no. We stand adjourned. Be safe out there.
And so the council has concluded about a 3.5-hour meeting tonight. One reason they went through so quickly tonight in part was that we're meeting under the new health rules in the community. This was considered an event and it had a curfew of 11 o'clock. So we got out with about an hour to spare, and I had a number of things on here, a 37 or 39-page agenda tonight. Perhaps the biggest thing that they did was, in part, was to either defer or defeat several resolutions and ordinances that were on the agenda tonight that would have stopped efforts to close down the Bordeaux long-term care facility, some to give it some care monies and stuff like that. That was pretty much defeated by the council. That effort would appear to be at its end. Some of them were deferred, as a number of bills were tonight, because members of the council who were sponsors of the resolution were not here, and anything of the legislation that the sponsor is not here, the bill does not move forward. In terms of the CARES facility, the council deferred a number of items, including spending another $5 million or allowing the school board to spend that for laptops and other items for virtual learning. That, along with an effort to set up the remaining money Metro has under the CARES fund, about $29 million, into a special fund, that has also been deferred. And the council has one more meeting to try to figure out what to do about that, because the CARES money must be appropriated under federal law by the end of the year. So they're going to have to deal with that to see what they want to do. And you did hear at the very end of the meeting, there's going to be a special council budget and finance committee meeting, and other council members are here to try to figure out what to do. This is also working along with the Cooper administration. Mayor Cooper was here tonight, brought the new police chief with him, and made a pitch for his new transportation plan that he's been working on for a number of months, he and his administration. The council has decided to defer that for right now, for more study. We had quite a few deferrals tonight, continuing to build on the leftovers that are on the council agenda. A few got off tonight. One that did not was the using license plate scanners for the purpose of going after reckless driving in Nashville, particularly illegal drag racing. Again, the sponsor was not here, so the bill was not able to be moved on or acted on second reading. Also on second reading, legislation that would require landlords to provide notice to tenants prior to termination of tenancy or non-renewal of lease, up to 60 days for that if it's a 12-month lease. That was passed on second reading. That bill has been on the agenda here for some time before the council finally dealt with it tonight. One bill that was quite controversial on public hearings a couple of weeks ago, a substitute bill's been put in. This involves some property out in the west part of Nashville, way out west near McCrory Lane, owned by a prominent businessman, Bill Freeman. This was changed to decrease the amount of the housings that would be built out there and put in more green space. That seemed to bring up a lot of the settle some of the issues that had come up before, although the bill still has to go through third reading and is going back to committee to be looked at as well, so there may be some more coming up on that. The council did approve spending over a little over $18 million out of the city's 4% reserve fund. That's 4% of all the monies the city receives in revenues. That'd be going for routine equipment purchases for the sheriff's department, for computer-related purchases of books for the library, and also to buy vehicles. Also, the council approved tonight an annexation of 1,600 parcels in the Dickerson Road, Brick Church, Pike area in District 3, Councilmember Gamble's district, coming into the Urban Services District. That will mean higher property taxes for that area, but not until next fiscal year. And meanwhile, property owners will see improved fire and police protection, along with trash collection and other street lights and other services. The council also approved tonight a bill on second reading that would strengthen the restrict construction noise in residential areas between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. That's been a consistent problem that council members get a lot of complaints about. Thought that would be a good time to try to deal with that. Again, that bill passed on second reading tonight. Will require a third reading vote the next time the council meets. To sort of wrap this up for the night, there was a resolution approved by the council tonight. It's memorializing, it recognizes and congratulates the Davidson County Election Commission and all the poll workers for a successful 2020 presidential election. That's been a matter that's been in the news quite a bit across the country about the presidential election. The council going on record as saying that they feel like in this particular area, the city did a good job with that. Council is now in recess until December the 15th. We are going back on a virtual schedule. We will not be meeting here at the Music City Center. Some of us will be back at the Metro Courthouse in the regular council chambers. Other council members will be joining the meeting virtually. We'll be in the council chambers to provide live coverage, both virtually and for people in the council chambers. Until then, we say good night from the council chambers. Tonight's Metro Council meeting has been a public affairs presentation of the Metro Nashville Network.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.